Jason and Sarah Archuleta. Joshua DeAndrea, son of Jonathan Kunalera and Jenny DeAndrea. Brett Heichman, son of Darren and Julie Heichman. Carson Holdren, son of Greg and Mindy Nicholson. Riley Mader, son of Justin and Rhea Mader. Riley Odell, son of Rick Odell and Jill Atchison. Trey Scott, son of Dan and Lori Scott. Kai Shugren, son of Steve and Roxy Shugren. Zion Thomas, son of Paul Thomas. And Brady Weber, son of David Weber and Brenda Rupert. Thank you to our senior football participants. Once you guys get lined up and somebody snaps a picture, feel free to head to the locker room. And now for our volleyball participants. Sam Crowther, daughter of Ron and Angie Shugren. Adam Fricky, daughter of David and Geneva Hay. Elise Nelson, daughter of Bill and Kristen Nelson. Lauren Rupert, daughter of Joseph and Carrie Rupert. Morgan Vanderwig, daughter of Larry and Rebecca Vanderwig. And that's it for volleyball. For tennis, we have Megan Sample, daughter of Mike and Ann Sample. Sophie Smith, daughter of Kevin and Michelle Smith. Bailey Wolf, daughter of Scott and Stephanie Wolf. Heather Schreiner, daughter of Brad Schreiner and Lori Friesen. For dance, Heather Schreiner was a participant there as well. Danielle Rogers, daughter of Jason and Kimberly Rogers. Peyton Stevenson, daughter of Doug and Nikki Stevenson. And that's dance. For cross country, we have Kaylee Cornett, daughter of Nick and Chasm Cornett. Carter Couchman, son of Monty and Cindy Couchman. Lawrence Dalston, son of Jim and Tony Dalston. Taylor Kuntz, daughter of Stacy Meyer. Zach Lott, son of Mark and Stacy Lott. And Logan Rawson, son of John Rawson and Connie Rawson. For cheerleading, we have Caitlin Stambaugh, daughter of Bob and Sheila Stambaugh, and Chip and Carrie Ellis. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our senior ball participants.
So a lot of similarity between them. Their guy's a little more compact, a little more of a power runner. Kyle's a little bit more streaky runner, but I think that playing out of that flex bone that they run, they may one or two that we got to be careful of.
You know, they have that potential as well, but our defense has adjusted so well in each of the last 3-4 weeks, you know, from a passing game to, like we talked about last week, a little bit of a different type of style that Rock Creek ran. And I know our guys are going to be well prepped and well versed in this flex bone that Chapman wants to run this evening. So it's just going to be a matter, again, of us doing our jobs, of us making sure we're in the right locations and, you know, fulfill our roles.
You are listening to the State Farm Insurance Anthony Hopkins pregame show. Anthony Hopkins is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley Vikings and your sponsor of the Viking pregame show. We'll take our first time out. We come back. I had a chance to get an interview with Coach Tim Lambert. He got a little lengthy, so we'll get that on the air for you right away. We'll be back here live after that. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football, back right after this.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins, 785-472-4426 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas invites you to visit their website at odcnck.com. Once there, you can look over the products that Overhead Door offers for commercial and residential installation and repair. Overhead Door Company services all of North Central Kansas.
Improve your yield with A-Series soybeans from DuPont Pioneer. Available through Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist. Using accelerated yield technology, A-Series beans deliver 2.3 more bushels per acre than the competition. Phelps Seed and Pioneer, with you from the word go. Ace your next harvest with A-Series beans from Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist, providing Pioneer wheat, corn, soybean, sunflower, and milo seed, along with the crop protection chemicals you need. Grow with a winner. Phelps Seed, with you from the word go.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to more Viking pregame. Don Binks along with Coach Tim Lambert as you get ready for senior night. Can't believe we're saying it's senior night already. It just seems like it should be only the second game of the year or something, but it is coming up on senior night, and you got to play a game Friday night.
Yeah, and the season has gone really fast. I think the older I get, it seems the faster the seasons go, and here we are ready to play our last scheduled home game of the year.
You have a Friday night. Let's go back a week, and we played Rock Creek, a team that we came in and we were both a little bit concerned at because they had some good athletes. They're young, but we expected them to give us a little bit more of a battle. But man, did our defense play that well, or what was the key to that shutout?
Well, our defense played pretty well. We knew that Rock Creek had played a tough schedule, and I think they were better than their record. But our kids played. I just think we get a little better, and each week, or we have the last five weeks or so, ever since the Larned game. We just keep getting a little bit better. Our offensive, defensive lines keep improving. I think our execution offensively has improved, and we just ended up shutting them out.
Your offensive line seems to be able to be flexible and create ways to block people, because their nose guard is playing an up position, standing up, floating around, but yet that didn't seem to bother. This cohesiveness of your offensive line seems to be outstanding.
Yeah, they're young. Young is they're not underclassmen, but they're not seniors. We have one senior on that offensive line, and Coach Elliott is the guy that's in charge of those guys, and Coach Henderson helps him, and they just do a wonderful job. the big thing that we're doing well is we're getting off the ball and we're attacking people. We're not, we're not complacent off the ball at all. And we made some mistakes. We made some communication errors where sometimes we left a guy unblocked that we shouldn't have. Two guys went to the same guy. But because we're getting off the ball as well as we are, and our backs are hitting the holes so fast, faster than we were earlier in the year, some of those mistakes are covered up a little bit, so that makes us look maybe better than we are. However, there are some good things that we're doing even when we're making some mistakes.
We've had a pretty good ability to finish the drives as of late. You and I have talked about that a couple of times, but 3 for 3 on our first 3 drives we scored. That had to make you pretty pleased as well. Yeah, and we're we're finishing drives like you said, and that's really important for our style of offense. We're taking time off the clock, and we're not giving the opposing team as many snaps, and all of that, just lends to us kind of playing our style of football, and we dictate the game instead of the other team dictating the game, the style of play and how we're going to play, and so that's been real beneficial for us the last few weeks. And then you get the big play right before halftime when they're maybe trying to push the issue and get a score before halftime, and Kyle picks off the pass and then gets a couple of blocks downfield to take it all the way to score. Yeah, it was an exciting play, and it really solidified the half for us, and really put the game, not out of reach, but close to being out of reach before halftime. And as long as we didn't come out and just shoot ourselves in the foot in the second half, we felt really good about things, and that was a big play. And in games, some of those plays are huge. If you get some of those plays in a real tight game, they're the difference in the game. And our kids have I think they're playing. They're playing with confidence. They're studying. They're ready. They're prepared because they're watching film and doing some stuff on their own that just makes them just a little bit better and a little more confident. They can play faster, and some of those things aren't things that are coachable. The kids are just doing them, and you have some years where you can't get kids to watch much film and on their own, and so you have to take time to try to get them in there. But these kids are watching film, and I think that shows that play is a typical play where our kids didn't get fooled and made a big play. Not just the pick and the run, but like you said, a couple blocks by Odell and Carson Winholtz were really big on that play. Now you got to turn your attention to the Chapman Irish, a team you handled well last year at their place. Now you got them at home, but we as a Viking nation don't take anybody lightly. Well, you can't, and we try to just prepare for what they do well, what they want to do, and try to take that away from them as best we can, or limit what they want to do offensively with our defense, and we try not to get caught up in records, but we're all human, and we all have a tendency to, not just the players, but even me as the head coach, sometimes you have a tendency to want to just let down a little bit and say, well, they're not, this team's 1-6 or whatever, but we try to stay focused in the sense that we want to get better. We want to improve, and we're not going to improve by being overconfident, arrogant, and complacent. And so we have to keep our, nose to the grindstone, so to speak, no matter what, and prepare the same way as we would for a Heston, a team that's, 7-0, or a team that's 0-7. And that takes maturity on young men's part. And so far, I think we've handled success better than we have in the past. It shows because we're playing really well. We're peaking, like you say, at the right time. How about a couple of Anderson Body Shop keys to victory for tonight's game?
Well, once again, I think, offensively, we just need to control the football, make first downs. Defensively, not give up big plays, and then win the turnover battle.
Sounds like a plan, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tim Lambert of the Vikings, and we'll be back right after this.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs, and one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Boyd Accounting provides professional accounting services in the Lindsborg area. Call them today at 227-2589 for all your accounting needs. Wishing the best of luck to the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley Football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
The Vikings play here.
Back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field on the campus of Bethany College, where the Smoky Valley Vikings play their home games, and they're bringing the wood out. They carry the wood out. They write their names on a player of the week. They vote on it, and somebody always brings that stick of wood out. They've been doing it for the last several years. The first year Coach Lambert got here, he didn't know anything about it, so it got put away, but a couple of years before that with Coach Hattabaugh, and now they're taking it in, and it's voted on by the players. So it's kind of a respect thing, but they get to bring that big piece of 2x4 with a whole bunch of names on it out to get the tempo set. And speaking of tempo, it's time for starting lineup. So who you got first?
First of all, I want to point out Trace Scott bringing out that big piece of wood tonight. Trace doesn't get a lot of playing time as a senior, but definitely awesome that his teammates voted him to carry that out tonight. Starting tonight for Chapman on the defensive end, we've got they run a little bit of a 4-4 look here. Starting for them is Trenton Hodson. He's a senior at 185 on the line. Kobe Stroud, he is a junior, 6 foot 245. Aaron Witt, also a lineman, 6'1", 300 pounds. And number 77, Kel Stroud, he is a 6'3", 250-pound sophomore. Their linebackers, Jaden Jackson, the 6'2 senior, he's number 7. Number 31, Eric Lemon, he is a 5'11 senior. Number 34, Austin Carter, he is a 5'7 senior. Number 40, Dalton Harvey, he is a 5'10 junior. And starting in the defensive backfield, number 3, Anthony Wazik, he's a 5'8", 140-pound junior. They also have number 28, Monroe Morgan, 5'11 junior. And number 82, Taylor Warner, the 6'2 freshman. Starting for the Vikings tonight on offense, we'll go back to the offensive side for them tonight. Of course, our stellar line that we have, led by Jonathan Burks there at the center position, Conrad Peterson, Ethan Wampler, Kai Shugren, and Nate Grosland. Of course, tight end Jacob Adams. At split, Zach Abel. At slot back and oftentimes in the backfield, Court Elliott. And then, of course, our quarterback, Brett Heitschmidt. And behind him, Riley Odell and Kyle Anderson. So the Vikings, number of seniors out there on that lineup to get things going. And what do we got?
Chapman won the toss, elected to take the ball, so they want a chance to see what they can do with their flex bone. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So they won the toss. Smoky Valley elected to take the win, so Raleigh Wilson will see if he can kick it out of the end zone and pin them back to their 20-yard line. The officiating crew tonight, not far from down the road, Doug Fitzmorris is the head man with the white hat, and the 2 Sawyer brothers are out here from Inman and McPherson, and then Brad Stinson from, I believe he's from Galva, and I don't know the 4th one or the 5th one, but a little local flavor to the officiating crew. Looks like going deep for the Chapman Irish will be number 4, Watkins. And who's one on the near side?
Number 11.
Is it 11?
Like Blake Verscher.
Verscher, so he's a return guy for the Chapman Irish. They're their white tops, green pants, green helmets, got a little green striping on their shoulder pad, little white striping down the side of their pants. Vikings on senior night are all black. It's a kick that bounces up, taken at the 20, 25, 30, and wrapped up at the 32-yard line by number 35 for the Vikings.
Blake
Hebel on senior night. And I don't know why I thought Blake Hebel was a junior, but they announced him as one of the seniors tonight. So
he is a senior. He is a junior.
He is a junior. Okay, I'm on.
That's all right.
I'm on Mater. I'm on Riley Mater. We'll get him right here pretty quick. Well, the flex bone is what they normally run. Now this should be a penalty because they broke the huddle with 12 guys and one of them went out of this thing, but they're not going to call it. Two backs face each other. Here comes the big fullback, and he's wrapped up. Great job by Riley Odell sneaking in there and tackling him for a gain of maybe a yard. That was their back, Harvey, their main back. They got a flanker that stands and faces the quarterback on one side, a flanker that stands and faces the quarterback on the other side, and then Harvey is their tailback. The quarterback is Isaac Jackson. He's a big guy. He's about 6'4", 200. And he keeps it once in a while, but they like that formation. And it's, Coach Lambert said, you got to prepare for it. You got to read your keys. And Riley Odell was big on his keys that time. Quarterback's keeping it this time, and he's swarmed under Wampler and Adams and Conrad Peterson, all three in on the tackle. So it's going to be another gain of maybe a yard. So it's going to be 3rd down and long, 3rd and 8, just underway here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you called that perfectly, reading your keys. That was a little bit of a counter look. They start the flexbone guy in motion coming across, and then he goes back the same way he came from, leading the way for the option, and they get absolutely nowhere with it.
Wide receiver each way for the Chapman Irish, and then that flexbone now in motion is Watson. There comes the big guy up the middle. He's going to be stopped for a gain of maybe another 2 yards. He'll get up to the 38-yard line. That's where it'll be 3rd or 4th down now, and a long 4, short 5. And Irish are going to have to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to go for it on 4th down? Looks like they're going to send the punt team out. So a 3 and out on the first possession by Smoky Valley is exactly what the doctor ordered. And then they're punting into this strong wind. The punter is number 85, their wide receiver, Colson.
Doesn't appear Smokey's going to send anybody back.
Well,
they're going to stay up, and they're just going to play the wind here.
It's liable to put it. Yeah, they're going to make sure it doesn't get a fake, and it gets hung up quickly. It took a Chapman bounce inside the 35 down to about the 32 or 33, and that's where the Vikings will take over 1st and 10. He might have been able to send somebody back there and fair catch it and save maybe 5 or 6 yards, but why take a chance? You know, it's liable to get hooked up and held up. The Vikings will take over on senior night with their black uniforms, black pants. They said they like this uniform setup the best, so we'll see if it'll inspire them to play well. And if you heard Coach Lambert's pregame interview, he loves this offensive line and what they're doing. They're really, really doing good under the direction of Ben Elliott. I formation the first time. Here comes Odell powering his way up to the 40-yard line. He'll gain 7, maybe 8 yards. See where the spot is. It's going to be right at the 40-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 7 on 1st down, 2nd down, and 3.
Yeah, Riley hits that left side quickly on the dive and ends up being able to carry guys with him. That's a great way for the Vikings to get started offensively, moving the ball 7 yards up the field, having a 2nd and 3.
As I looked at my score sheet from a year ago, Riley got a couple of touchdowns and had a pretty good night rushing the ball over at Chapman. I formation again behind Heitschmidt. Here comes Odell pushing again. He'll get another 5, maybe 6 yards, and he'll get up to the 45-yard line. So it's another 5-yard gain, and it's 1st down, 2 downs to get a 1st down. Smoky Valley moves the chains, and that's exactly what they do. And somebody asked me today, is the wind going to be a bother for the football game tonight? Well, not for Smoky Valley. We throw the ball occasionally, so we would look to maybe throw the ball once or twice with the wind, but we certainly aren't in a need of airing the ball out. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying the middle. He gets wrapped up. Good tackle in there by number 82, sliding down from his defensive end position. That's Taylor Warner. And he'll pick up about almost 3 yards on the carry, 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, just a nice blend here. Most of it's come across the left side, but a couple of different runners here on the first 3 plays. And like, we always talk about 3 to 4 yards, 3 to 4 yards, and then eventually we find a way to break one. And, it doesn't look like we're too far away from possibly being able to do that.
2nd down and 7. Ball just short. Just not quite to midfield yet. Now Tim Lambert in motion from the near side. He gets the ball on the handoff, but he gets wrapped up immediately. Great play by their defensive end there. He saw Tim Lambert get that ball, and Tim didn't get around him. And that was number 82 again, Warner. So he's got back-to-back tackles, and that one actually for a loss on the play of a yard. So 3rd down and 8 now for Smoky Valley. So great defense by the Irish.
It was a little jet sweep, green sweep look, and it looked like the timing. We didn't quite hit it full speed like we are so good at doing in the past, and that allowed him to get up the field and didn't have an angle to go through there.
Winholtz, a wide receiver on the far side. Elliott in the flanker position on the near side. I formation behind Heitschmidt. Turn and hand it off to Kyle Anderson. He's got a seam. He's trying to rush it up there, and he's not going to get the first down. He will get across midfield into Chapman territory down to about the 47. So it's going to be 4th down and a long 2 for the Vikings. Well, most likely Coach Lambert will show confidence in his offensive line. We've mentioned them many a time, but those guys up front are doing their job, and they just keep on game in and game out.
Yeah, just another great example. Again, going right up that left side. We seem to be liking that. That's where we had the extra tight end. This time we're in the bone, so tight end on both sides.
Wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson busting through, and he's got it. He's got the first down yardage. He'll get just across the 45, and he looked like he needed to get to the 45. And it will be 1st and 10, Smoky Valley. Not by much, but just enough to show confidence and keep those chains moving. First possession for the Smoky Valley Vikings. Chapman had the first possession of the game. They went 3 and out. Now the Vikings started this drive back at the 33-yard line. They'll go wishbone formation once again. Heitschmidt under center, double tight end. Here comes Riley Odell. He'll get a couple of yards, but good defense in there again by the Chapman Irish. Big number 7 on the tackle there for them. Jaden Jackson on the tackle. Well, 2nd down and 8 for Smoky Valley. Great night, a little breezy like we said, but a good night for football. Somebody's tying their shoe out there. That's Riley Odell, and the fullback in this wishbone formation. They've gone now 3 or 4 plays in a row. Heitschmidt gets it off to Elliott. Elliott with those high knee churning gets down to the 39-yard line. He'll pick up 4 yards on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for Smoky Valley.
Yeah, Court hits that hole on the right side very hard that time. And Court's one of those guys, if you try to tackle him high, you're not going to get very far. And I think their safety or corner came up that time and tried to get him up high. And I think he drove him back another 3 or 4 yards after first contact. So, again, just that strong running that Smoky brings to the table.
He's the lighter of the 3 backs in there, but with those high knees that we've talked about many a time, he does a great job. I formation this time behind Heitschmidt. Here comes Kyle Anderson. Here comes a little seam. He's going to get through there, and he gets powers near the first down at the 35. Looks like he'll be just short. Looks like the ball will be just on the line, and the tail end of the football had to be touching the line. So it's 4th down and inches. Don't need a measure with nice turf lines on the field, but Vikings will have another 4th down now.
And this upcoming play will be the 10th play of the drive for Smoky Valley as they've been able to continue moving the ball forward. And we'd like to take this opportunity to welcome First Bank Kansas as a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
Riley Odell, no, it's Kyle Anderson. No, it's Kyle Anderson, and he breaks it out into the open and gets pulled down from behind by Jackson, number 7. But Riley Odell, I thought Riley had it for the first down, and then lo and behold, Kyle Anderson comes out with it, breaks into the second level of coverage and gets it down to the red zone, the Next Tech Wireless red zone. And the Vikings will have it 1st and 10. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. 1st and 10, Smoky Valley ball on the 12-yard line, the scoreboard says. Abel wide to the near side. Elliott in the flanker wide to the far side. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying to zigzag and back into the middle. And he'll get across the 10 down to the 9 or the 8-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. Pickup of 3, maybe 4 on the play. Looks like they'll give him 4 yards on that play. So 2nd down and 8 for Smoky Valley. They would like nothing more than to put points on the board, finish another drive. We've gotten a little bit better at finishing drives than we were in the early part of the season.
We've done really well the last couple of weeks of being able to put the ball in after long drives like this. And now down here inside the 10, looks like we're going to go back to that wishbone again.
Heitschmidt under center. A little bit mishandle on the snap, but Kyle Anderson powering his way near the goal line. They said he won't get in, but it is a 1st down, 1st and goal for the Vikings. He kind of landed on his head and the ball was with him, and he is stopped. The ball is inside the 1-yard line, so it's 1st and goal from the 1. But the Viking up front linemen are just dominating the line of scrimmage on this drive.
Yeah, 1st and goal from inside the 1, this being the 13th play of the drive. Vikings started, of course, back at their own 33.
Wishbone formation again. Heitschmidt under center. Turns and hands it off to Elliott, and Elliott is in for the 1-yard touchdown run at 3:31 left to go in the first quarter. And the Vikings just dominate, although they had to go for it twice on 4th down. But they put together a 14-play, 67-yard drive, culminated in a 1-yard Cord Elliott run.
Yeah, 7 carries on that drive, 49 yards for Kyle Anderson. So he did the bulk of it. With a little bit of help from Riley Odell along the way, and Court Elliott, of course, finishing it off as the Vikings line up to go for 2.
PAT out of the wishbone formation. They're trying to stunt a little bit. Here comes Kyle Anderson, and he'll run over a tackler, Jackson, but he'll complete the 2-point play, and with 3:31 left to go, Vikings up 8-0. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Don Bingston is your local Farm Bureau Financial Services agent and is proud to be in his 12th year as voice of the Vikings. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes, in all your activities this year.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
Well, the Vikings did everything they wanted to do on that drive. They got the ball. They didn't have to throw the ball, even though they were with the wind. And now the ensuing kickoff, Raleigh Wilson will see if he can get the ball a little more elevated. It's still a line drive kick, but it'll go back to one of the back guys, Jackson here. Watkins will pick. There comes a flag flying in from the side, and up the middle he goes, across the 25 up to about the 27. That was Watkins.
Tackled on the play by Josh DeAndrea, as well as Lane Schrog getting in there, both of them getting a hit on the tackle.
Holding is the signal from the man in the white hat, Doug Fitzmore, so they'll back it up half the distance to the goal, or 10 yards. I guess it'll be 10 yards back to the 12-yard line. And that's where Chapman Irish will take over 1st and 10, hoping they can get a 1st down, because the Vikings were very good at getting them on a 3-and-out and got the ball back with short field. So the Vikings took quite a bit of time on that drive. Now they'll set up in that flex bone position. Jackson goes under center. Now a man in motion, Lemon. Here comes the fullback powering his way, and he'll get up to near the 20-yard line, so he'll pick up about 2, maybe 3 on the play. He's their bread and butter. I mentioned he had 128 carries for 650 yards, I believe it was. He's the one they like to go to. But the Vikings love to play against the run. I think they're going with 4 down linemen. Adams, Peterson, Shugren, and Wampler, the 4 down linemen on defense. Linebackers are Anderson, Odell, and Elliott. Corners are Winholtz and Abel. The safeties are Lambert and Lambert and Schrog. It looks like the ball loose. Is the ball loose?
No, I think it was a quarterback keeper there. Okay. We kind of stood him up. It looked like Cord Elliott was able to get in there. Just didn't get away very well. It looked like another lineman may have grabbed a hold of him a little bit and stood him up. So Court was able to finish it off. It looks like for no gain.
No gain, or maybe a yard on the play, up to the 21-yard line anyway. 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 6, short 7. left to go as the clock winds down to 2:25 and counting here in the first quarter. Vikings on top, 8-0. Beautiful late October evening, albeit a little windy. The temperature low 70s as the game time kickoff started. In motion is Watkins, and they got a stoppage of play. Looks like we had somebody in motion or delay of game. The flag came from the back official. I think they're running the 25-second clock, aren't they?
I believe they are. I just don't think they
paid attention to it. Yeah, well. Most high schools don't have that, so it's a luxury that you have, but the back official still counts that down. Yeah, they are running the clock. It's running now. So now that backs it up to third down and 11. Puts it back to near the 14 or 16-yard line, excuse me. There's a toss trying to get outside. Great play by Carson Winholtz. One-on-one tackle, and he made him pay. He's going to lose yardage on that play. Carson filled that corner quickly.
It was that toss play coming over here on the right side, the near side of the field, and Carson came off of his block quickly, got up into his gap there in the edge and held the edge well and was able to make the open field tackle here for what looks like to be about a 3 or 4 yard loss.
So another 3 and out. The Vikings have held again. So barring a penalty here, they'll get the ball back again, not sending anyone back to catch the punt, just going to make sure of the punt. It's a high snap, but it gets away. It is a short, wobbly kick that going to go out of bounds and not even get across the 35-yard line. Looks like it'll be near the 35, but that'll be about a net 20-yard punt. And against the wind, that's not bad, but boy, that's sure. Sometimes, you've seen different coaches have different strategies, and sometimes coaches take an end of the field rather than the ball or anything just to get the wind at their back in that first quarter. And Chapman chose the ball, and boy, they're paying for it.
Yeah, and we've done such a great job pushing them back on both occasions and making them have to punt and giving us some excellent field position, especially on this drive.
2 receivers to the far side. That's Thomas and Abel. I formation behind Heitschmidt this time. Turn and hand it off to Court Elliott. No, Heitschmidt's going to take it himself, and he'll get down to the 30-yard line. They spotted the ball at the 34-yard line. The last time the Vikings had the ball at the 33-yard line in their own territory. This time they get it at the 34-yard line in Chapman territory. So it's going to be a short drive if the Vikings can complete the drive. Heitschmidt picks up about 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7. Lambert and Winholtz, this time the wide receivers to the far side. Elliott and Anderson behind Heitschmidt. Turn and hand it off to Anderson. He's got a little seam. He's going to chug down, and he'll get team tackled there about the 25 or 26-yard line. Looks like it'll be 3rd down and short for the Vikings.
Nice hard running by Kyle as he hit that hole. And we've said this a number of different games, Don, where the hole is open so wide that he gets 3 or 4 yards up the field before contact, and this was another one. Chapman filled the hole very well on the second level, but the first level was nowhere to be seen.
So far, we're not getting as many yards after initial contact. We're just getting more yards before that initial contact. Thomas and Abel wide to the far side. Turn to hand it off to Elliott. Elliott churning for 1st down yardage. He's got it near the 21-yard line, so it'll be a pickup of nearly 5 yards by Court Elliott. And boy, the Vikings just have that luxury of having 3 running backs that can just chug it in from anywhere. So they've got a long stable. And that will be the final play of the first quarter. Just 7.9 seconds are waiting for it to run off, and it will run off. And our score after 1 quarter with the Vikings knocking on the door. Smoky Valley 8, Chapman 0. Back right after this.
Bethany College Swedes succeed. Bethany students lead lives of faith, learning, and service as they find their own pathways on Bethany's beautiful campus that's filled with opportunities to get involved with art, music, theater, athletics, service learning, sustainability, leadership, global citizenship, and more. Swedes succeed in their careers and their communities. Learn more at www.bethanylb.edu.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And again, we need a give best wishes to both the volleyball team and the cross-country team. The volleyball team is playing in their sub-state. They drew the number 1 seed. They've had a tough year. They play Concordia. And is that at Concordia, or do you remember where it is? I can't remember for sure.
I'm not 100% sure. I think it is in Concordia, but I'm not positive. I think it's Concordia, Nickerson, and
Clay
Center. But I can't for the life of me remember where it is off the top of my head.
And then the cross-country team, of course, both girls and boys running at Rolling Acres Golf Course up here between McPherson and Lindsborg. So it's basically a home meet that we don't have to worry about hosting. So
a couple of early scores of interest. Trinity up 6-0 on Halstead on a 72-yard run early in the first quarter. And it looks like, we said before, Nickerson already up 7-0 on Wichita Collegiate. That's in the first quarter. And Kingman up on Hugoton 3-0 also in the first.
High formation behind Heitschmidt. Here comes the first man through. No, Heitschmidt's got it himself. He's got some room around the side. And he gets a first down inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Low rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number and hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. So Heitschmidt calls his own number from the 21 and gets down to the 12. So a pickup of 9 by Heitschmidt on that play.
Yeah, and we don't see Brett handle the ball a whole lot in this offense because we have such talented backs. So anytime he does get that opportunity, you're very much not expecting it as a defense.
Here comes Heitschmidt on the option. He's going to keep it now at the last minute. Pitches it to Kyle Anderson. Kyle, touchdown! What a timing play that was by Brett Heitschmidt. He took it till the last minute. And then I wasn't sure Kyle was going to get the ball. It was such a great pitch, and he just caught it in full stride and went for the pylon and hit the pylon and took it in from the 12-yard line.
Yeah, very talented play there on both of their behalves on a 5-play, 34-yard drive, finishing it here with a beautiful option play. Like you said, Brett got the edge, looked like he was going to keep. The defense committed to him at the very last instant, pitches to Kyle, who gets to the pylon over here on the near side as Smoky Valley again sets up to go in the wishbone here for 2.
Heitschmidt takes a snap and gets it to Tim Lambert, and Lambert is in for 2. Our score with 11:43 left to go, Smoky Valley 16, Chapman 0 back right after this.
Stop by Freddy's Frozen Custard before or after the game. Try Freddy's world-famous mouth-watering steak burgers or their delicious frozen custard. Freddy's in Salina, 2420 South 9th, next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Did you know you can purchase custom-etched glassware at the Hemsloyd? It's a perfect one-of-a-kind gift. Hemsloyd Scandinavian Specialties and GlassDecorators.com, supporting Smoky Valley and Bethany Athletics since 1984.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Back here live as Smoky Valley has now taken a 16-0 lead here early in the second quarter. Domination again by Smoky Valley, 101 yards of total offense throughout that to the end of this drive here compared to 5 yards for Chapman and 7 minutes, 48 seconds compared to 4:12 for Chapman.
A bouncer almost looked like an onside try. It comes down in the arms of one of the Chapman up guys at the 40-yard line. So Raleigh Wilson, whether he's intending to do that or just practicing, getting a lot of different looks on that. This time he's kicking it off into that wind, and it got down there and bounced, and Chapman Irish have actually the best field position they've had so far. So they'll start it at the 41-yard line. That flex bone position. Here comes the fullback running through the middle, and he'll churn up near to the 45, so Harvey will get about 4 yards on that carry. He's a load. I don't know what his weight is, his height and his weight. He's 5'10", 205, but he's stout, he's well built, and he's a power runner.
Yeah, he hits the hole extremely hard. You know, that was a little faking the pitch and going right back to him, and he hit the hole quickly and was able to pick up, a good 4-yard chunk there, driving his hips and his legs all the way through the defense.
Watkins is the one that goes in motion most of the time. Lemon is the other back that's facing the quarterback. And Watkins in motion to the far side now. Pitch to Watkins outside. He's trying to get out there. Lambert slowed him down, but he got away from Lambert. Finished off after about a 3-yard gain over there. I didn't get the number of who the Viking tackler was on that one.
I think it was Carson Winholtz on that side.
I think
coming up from his corner position.
But he'll pick up 3 yards, so it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for the Chapman Irish. They got to get just across midfield to get that first down. Wide receiver each way for the Irish. Tight splits in the line, and the quarterback's going to take it himself, and he's going to get first down yardage. So great run by Jackson following his lineman in there. And he just powers the way in there. Big number 71, Stout. He is 6'2", 245. So he's a good one to follow.
Yeah, and it was a really nicely designed keep. He just went directly up over center and knew they needed to get about 3 to 4 yards, and he got just about that as he got through the middle of the Viking line there.
Their first down comes at the 10-25 mark. Here comes Lemon now, handed off to the big Harvey, but he gets wrapped up. Great effort. I don't know if that was Conrad Peterson or Wampler that had him first in there, but he got taken down. It looks like Riley Odell coming off the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, it looked like a combination of Wampler, Hebel, and Odell that were all three in the mix there. It is just a lot of mayhem in there. They're picking up a little bit of chunk at a time, that time less than a yard, but there are 3, 4, maybe sometimes even 5 Vikings getting up off the pile each time.
2nd down and 10. No gain at the 9:35 mark with the Vikings leading. There's a toss to Watkins trying to get outside the far side, but he'll run out of real estate. Wampler, is that Wampler taking him out of bounds? No, that's Jacob Adams, 83. I thought it was 63, but it's Jacob Adams taking him out of bounds as he tries to stay inbounds, but there was nowhere. He was looking for a cutback, but there was nowhere to cut back.
Yeah, the way we're running this tonight, it looks like Tim Lambert is keying on number 4 back there for them, Wilcox. And he's really doing it. Is that right, Wilcox? Watkins, I'm sorry. And he's coming. Anytime that toss happens, he's coming up quickly and disturbing the play. He hasn't gotten the tackle the last 2 times, but he has disturbed it well enough that it's been very minimal gain.
He's got such speed from his safety position that he can get to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. A little pass on the side and overthrowing everybody. Good defense. Carson Winholtz, intended receiver, was number 85, Colston. But that was nowhere near completed, and Colston goes over there near the baseball field to get the ball. Goes a long way with the wind pushing it out there. There'll be a little stoppage of play here as the clock does stop for the incomplete pass. That's the first pass by either team, correct?
It is, and you try to make that pass there with the wind at your back as opposed to at your face, but you just barely get it up in the air, and the wind just drives it so far, and you could tell that time Carson stayed back and still couldn't catch up to the pass.
Yeah, Carson wasn't able to get anywhere closer to the ball than Colston was. A little bit different formation this time. The wide receiver on this side is near the flanker, and now this time they'll call timeout. We'll keep this one right here. I want to thank our sponsors that help us with our broadcast: Art Shirt, Harry Malari, Viking Auto, Scott's, R&R Excavating. Contact Maury Loader for your Smoky Valley real estate needs. Dr. Darrell Loader at Smoky Valley Chiropractic. CNL Heating and Cooling. Lindsberg Family Dental. Phoenix Restoration. People's Bank and Trust. Gallant Tire and Auto. Dower Welding and Machine. And Bank of Tescott.
We want to recognize these seniors tonight. We've talked about them a couple of times, but the seniors for the Viking football team this year: Zach Abel, Jacob Adams, Kyle Anderson, Dylan Archuleta, Josh DeAndrea, Brett Heitschmidt, Carson Holdren, Riley Mader, Riley Odell, Trace Scott, Kai Shugren, Zion Thomas, and Brady Weber. What a great group they've been. You and I talked about wondering exactly what their record is over that time, but they've done extremely well, and especially over the course of this last 2 years, where many of them have been major contributors in this program.
Yeah, major contributors for all 4 years. So it's 4th down and long. This time Zach Abel will go back. Under Colston is back, standing at his 37-yard line. Big splits on their punting. He drops the ball. Vikings pressure on him coming, and they'll get him stopped in the backfield. Yes, Zion Thomas. Blake Hebel was the first one that Blake Hebel was the first one that got back there, but he dropped the ball, and then finishing him off was Zion Thomas. So great effort by the Vikings. All you're supposed to do is make sure you ensure that he punts, but when you see a bad snap, then you can Katie bar the door and take off running.
Yeah, and I don't know, Ed, that would look like a perfect snap. He looked like he was already thinking about the wind at his back and how far he was going to kick that one, and it just slithered right through there and he kind of picked it up, and the Vikings were back there quickly, led by Hebel, and, of course, finished up by Zion Thomas. 1st and 10, Vikings at their 35.
The Vikings get a short field again. Heitschmidt rolling to the side. He's going to throw it downfield, and caught by Zion Thomas inside the 10-yard line. He goes out of bounds, so right after the Vikings switch ends, their first offensive play against the wind, they challenge the wind, and Brett Heitschmidt gets it over the defender, and Zion Thomas hauls it in for a pickup from the 35 to the 9, 24-yard gain.
Yeah, great reception. The pass got hung up in the air. The corner had a chance at it, and it just trickled over his head. Zion was able to keep his concentration on the ball on the far side, make the catch, and then be tackled, like you said, in the Next Tech Wireless red zone, where lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a member. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Heitschmidt's going to call his own number. Heitschmidt, touchdown. Brett Heitschmidt from the 9-yard line, or 8-yard line, excuse me. An 8-yard run by Heitschmidt. And the Vikings take a 22-0 lead with 9:02 to go.
Yeah, nice two-play, 35-yard drive for Smoky Valley, and of course led to by the muffed punt opportunity, taking over with a short field, and of course starting that with a big pass. And now, like you said, up 22-0 with 9:02 left to play here in the second, and lining up in the wishbone again for 2 points.
Heitschmidt under center, wishbone formation. Snap. Here comes Kyle Anderson, and he is in for the 2-point conversion with 9:02 left to go. The Vikings up 24-0. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Ever wonder why some wireless carriers charge so much more than others? At Nextech Wireless, you'll receive nationwide coverage, 4G LTE data, and unlimited data. But we don't overcharge you like some of the other carriers do. Plus, we have buy one, get one free smartphones and the best customer service. With more than 50 stores in our area, you can actually talk to us face to face. Tired of paying more and only getting more fees, charges, and a higher bill? Say goodbye to your carrier and hello to Nextech Wireless.
The Vikings play here.
Have certainly been giving a little bit of extra gift tonight, as the first 2 punts Chapman did were into the wind, and they didn't go very far. And then when they finally got with the wind, a bad snap and a sack of the punter enabled them to get another short field. Here comes the ensuing kickoff on the ground, picked up and covered up by one of the upbacks for Chapman at the 31-yard line. So that's where they'll take over 1st and 10. They did get a first down in their last series, but then had to punt after that. But the Chapman Irish team needs to get something going.
Yeah, and due to that muff punt, we call that, our master statistician here called that a run. And so as a result of that, that gives them -1 yards of total offense right now compared to 136 for Smoky Valley. And really, there's no other way to classify it.
No.
He had to take off and run that ball.
Zion Thomas trying to hustle and get off the field. He didn't make it, and they'll stop play before. I don't know if they called timeout or what they did, so it's a little bit of confusion here between the officiating crew. So it's a 5-yard mark-off against the Vikings. Zion Thomas trying to get off. Kyle Anderson now coming off, so I don't know what they... Kyle wasn't in on the last defensive series.
He came out for a brief second. It looked like the officials made him leave, maybe with some blood on the elbow or something, and so they had to cover that up. And then he was able to, it looks like he's still off on the side, and you can see he's bandaged up a little bit there.
1st and 5 for Chapman. Harvey, the big fullback, trying to get through the Viking defenders, and Conrad Peterson and Jacob Adams on that left side. Nowhere to go. Looks like we've got a Viking down over there. It's Tim Lambert over there who's going to call for a little attention. He's kind of on his knees and on his helmet. Now he's going to roll over on his back. Well, hopefully he'll be okay. The Smoky Valley Vikings are just simply dominating the line of scrimmage. We'll see if we can check on some other scores here. Hayes 8-0 over Abilene after 1 quarter. Minneapolis and Marysville 32-0 over Minneapolis. So we're not the only ones that are having a lot of score here.
Yeah, it looks like Marion up 16-0 on Hillsborough as well. And again, we pointed out a couple of scores earlier. Kingman still up 3-0 on Hugoton. Trinity up. They just refreshed on me there, so I got to take a quick peek here. Larned up 7-6 now on Hoisington, and Collegiate Nickerson tied up at 7.
Want to make sure we plug live.smokyvalley.org for our listeners out there. Maybe some of you are watching that online now, but certainly appreciate Mike Rose and his crew to film this for everybody, and our audio goes over it so you can kind of hear a little bit about what's going on. A little give and go between the quarterback and the fullback, and the quarterback going to end up keeping it, gets out in a little bit of the Vikings secondary and picks up a first down and goes out of bounds all the way up in Viking territory at the 48-yard line. So great run by Isaac Jackson, their quarterback.
Yeah, we do want to point out Tim Lambert was able to come off under his own power. Looks like he's standing off on the sideline right now. So good news for Smoky Valley there. And it looks like Brady Weber able to finish that play off. But a great run there by Chapman, kind of getting a bit of momentum there across the right side. And they will have first and 10 inside Viking territory.
And we got Andrew Peters playing safety. Here comes Jackson again taking the ball himself, and he gets a little bit of yardage again, gets a pickup of about 5 yards on the play. Conrad Peterson and Wampler over there to finish off that tackle. Looks like he should have been calling his number a little more often right now.
And, when you start keying on certain guys, then, we're trying to take away that pitch. We're trying to take away number 40 up the middle there and not allow him to get all the yards that he's been able to get so far this season. You do leave a little something open, and he has had a couple of nice runs. But, one of the things we've been great at this year is being able to make that new adjustment as well.
Wide receiver each way for the Chapman Irish with that flex bone position. Now we got a stoppage of play, and we got somebody lined up, he's saying offsides. In high school ball, you can't jump off. If you line up offsides, you are offside. So Chapman will get a second first down on this drive now with a couple of Viking penalties. They had too many men on the field for the first play, and now an offside. So 2 5-yard penalties on the Vikings here. Up 24-0 with 7:40 left to go in the first half.
And I think, didn't we only have one penalty last week?
I think we did.
It was not very many. So showing a couple of little signs here of need to refocus.
Watkins in motion, a fake to him, and now a big blast up the middle by Harvey, their fullback. But not taking the fake was Kai Sugar. Now we have a little bit of a flag. One of the Chapman guys went down. I don't know if one of the Smoky Valley guys pushed him over or what happened, but we'll see if it's Chapman or a Smoky Valley penalty here. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike on the Vikings. So Vikings, it's going to be offsetting. So each team gets a flag on that one, so no gain. So they're each shoving against each other. The Chapman guy went down on the shove. We had a mysterious penalty last week. Remember on that drive? That was at Lions. It was at Lions on that drive in the middle of the field that got an unsportsmanlike. We never could figure out where that one came from either. I did pick up the shoving on this play. Well, it's offsetting, so it's going to be 2nd down and 6 for Chapman. Ball at the Smoky Valley. The quarterback's going to keep it himself. Good effort in there by the Viking interior lineman again. Coming off the bottom of the pile is Conrad Peterson and Ethan Wampler.
I asked a few of the players about that play at Lions, because it was a very awkward amount of penalty yards.
Yeah.
If you remember, and they said that we actually had fumbled that punt. And so the decision was they called it a fumble on the punt. And that's where they spotted the ball, was taken at the spot of the fumble instead.
Okay.
I didn't see any fumble. There was no fumble mentioned.
No.
They just put the ball in that spot and moved on.
Okay. That explains a little bit of it. Because, we were thinking it was 30-some yards on that penalty. Here's Watkins. Great play by Odell and Hebel on that one to stop Watkins as he was trying to get... He's a little light guy. He looks like he should have a lot of speed, but boy, they were playing that smart, and he was tripped up. Good to see Tim Lambert coming back in now. So it's going to be 4th down and long. Is there another penalty on the play? Looks like there might be another penalty. They're talking to the Viking, Kyle Anderson anyway, so he's pointing. It's either going to be 4th down there or 3rd down back farther, and I would assume that we'll take the 4th down where the ball is at the 35-yard line, but maybe not. Chop block is declined, so they are going to decline it. It's going to be 4th down now, and about 4th and 7. at the Smoky Valley 35-yard line for Chapman. So deepest penetration of the night so far with 6:19 left to go in the first quarter. That flex bone formation. Jackson under center. Now Lemon in motion, going back to pass it down the field. Oh, he's got a receiver. Colston got behind the defenders. Everybody bid on the run with Lemon in motion, but Colston, he well overthrew Colston down the field.
Yeah, it was a bit of a jailbreak. You had number 85 number 85 Colston heading up there, and then they had another back going off on the right-hand side of the field. And really, the only deep guy we had there was Carson Windholtz. If you notice, Carson just tried to pick one out of the two to see if he could guard.
Yeah.
But Colston was wide open down the middle, but that ball got into the wind stream here, and it just took off. It was a good 40 yards in the air before it landed, and lands harmlessly for Smoky Valley as we take over on the 35.
35-yard line again, the opposite end of the football field, so the Vikings are going to have to drive 65 yards for this touchdown if they get it. Wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson. He's got some running room. He gets to midfield. He's going to take it all the way on one play. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Kyle Anderson, a 65-yarder, no penalty flags. And that took care of the big play. We hadn't had one of them in a while. And Kyle Anderson just simply rode those quick early blocks and was hard. I don't know if he was even touched.
No, I don't think he was. The line had it cleared out well, and you saw even the second wave, we had blockers about 10 yards up the field finishing plays off, but we made that comment in the first quarter. It didn't seem like we were really getting a lot of yardage. It was 3 yards, it was 4 yards, but all of a sudden you just knew we were going to continue to wear them down with our time of possession, and sure enough, Kyle gets through there and breaks a big one. 65 yards as Smoky Valley sets up. Split wide here. You got Zion Thomas and Zach Abel, so an I formation going for 2.
Heichman under center. Drop back to pass, throws it in the slant route to Abel, and just as the ball got there, he got hit by a defender, so it falls incomplete, no good. But the score reads Smoky Valley 30, Chapman 0, back.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
The Quarterback Club of Lindsborg is proud to support athletics in the Smoky Valley. Join us each Tuesday at 7 a.m. in the Bethany College cafeteria to hear from all the Vikings and Swedes sports coaches.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
Out of the gate here, it looks like Kyle Anderson having a great first quarter, or his first half. 10 carries, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is that correct? Moving the ball extremely well. The Vikings 201 yards of total offense to 23 for Chapman.
Kick on the ground again, picked up by one of the upbacks. This time it's Lemon. He's going to try to run it back, and he'll get up to the 42 or 43-yard line before he's run into, I believe it's Brady Weber on the tackle.
Yeah, Brady came up, made a nice stick there about the 42, and I think carried him there for about another yard. So, again, you got that strong wind. You put the ball up in the air. It's not going to go very far. So you just put it on the ground, hope you can squib it well, and set them up wherever they're at.
He's been doing a great job. 1st and 10 ball at the 43-yard line for Chapman. With that flex bone, 2 wing backs facing each other. Now in motion Watkins, the first guy Harvey going through, and he's upended. Now flag comes in late. Upended by Conrad Peterson and Riley Odell on the tackle. Harvey will get 2 yards on the carry, but we'll see where the penalty is.
The way that came in there, you're almost starting to wonder if it's got to be a hold or a face mask, one of those two.
But looking like they're taking it the other way against Chapman, so another chop block. I don't know what they're doing. But it's a 15-yard penalty.
You know, that chop block call, of course, is if one guy's engaged and another guy goes after the legs. That, of course, is illegal. So I don't know if they've got a guy maybe that's pulling out of there, trying to pull from his guard or tackle position and coming over and hitting him low as we've got him engaged. So either way, it's going to move them back, and it's going to be a long field here for Chapman.
Ball's back at the 29-yard line. They got to get across midfield to the 47. Little quick pass in the flat, caught by Colston. He gets up across the 35 to the 36, tackled by Winholtz. And Jacob Adams hustling out there from his defensive end position to help with that tackle. Be a pickup of about 6, maybe 7, as the ball goes rolling upfield a little bit more between the feet of Derek Sawyer. He's the umpire tonight in the middle of all the action out there. So second down and long, about 17 yards for Chapman. Under 5 minutes we go left. Vikings up 30-0. In motion comes Lemon. Quarterback's going to keep it himself. Now he's looking to throw it downfield and incomplete. The intended receiver was Watkins, but a little bit behind him and unable to complete the ball for third down. So now it's going to be third and long at the 4:45 mark for the Chapman Irish. They're with the wind this quarter, but they haven't gotten many passes completed. The 2 long ones they've tried to have gone over the head of the intended receiver. They did complete one in the flat to their tight end, tall, lanky Colston over there.
Yeah, it's actually been a little bit more of a detriment because they have had at least one of those guys open, but just completely overthrew the play.
So third down and long for the Irish. In motion comes Lemon to the near side. Fake toss now. Quarterback's trying to get it downfield and just over the head of Harvey, their fullback. Cord Elliott was stride for stride with him. And that falls incomplete, bringing up fourth down and long for the Chapman Irish. So they're just having their struggles trying to get the ball downfield. We aren't giving them anything on the run, and they're not able to complete the passes, so it's just going to be a long night for the Chapman Irish so far.
Yeah, and Jacob Adams back in the backfield quickly there on that fake, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback and forcing him to throw the errant throw.
This time we'll see if we can get a good snap and a good catch. Colston does catch it. It's a high, wobbly kick. Abel's going to let it bounce. He's back at the 10-yard line. It bounces about the 20, and it'll go inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. It may keep rolling for a long time. The wind's going to keep rolling, and now the Vikings fall on it. Good effort by Tim Lambert there to stop it from rolling. That could roll all the way to the 1-yard line. So
ends up being about a 49-yard punt there once you get the roll and everything in it. And like you said, Timmy ends up just throwing himself on the ball as we're watching it roll. It ends up being a good play. Certainly not one where you want to muff that and give him a chance, but you certainly don't want to be back at the 1-yard line either.
Well, it was sideways, and I said it was going to roll dead about the 18 or 19-yard line, and when Tim finally landed on it, it was at the 15, and it was sideways, and it was rolling backwards, so good heads-up play. Wishbone formation now, this time behind Heitschmidt. Vikings with 4:21 left to go. Will they be able to add another score? They've scored on every drive. Here comes Lambert trying to get outside, and this time Lemon picks him up, and he'll get wrapped up for no gain on the play. Lemon there quick enough so Lambert couldn't use his speed to get around him. He normally shifts into another gear and just goes outside, but that time Lemon on defense made a good play.
Yeah, they had the edge covered really well there. It looked like Timmy was trying to get to the outside, just couldn't. If he could have broken that one, I think he's got a nice gain, but he was able to hold on to him up high and get some guys to come along and help afterwards.
Well, second down and give him a yard on the carry. Second down and 9 at the 3:45 mark of the first half. Vikings leading 30-0. Heitschmidt hands it off. No, he's going to keep it himself, chugging in the middle and running downfield. Heitschmidt's having a better night tonight with a touchdown. His second of the year, is that what we decided?
It was, yes.
He'll pick up about 7 on the play. It'll be third down and a long 3. Short 3, maybe, for Vikings. They have to get to the 25-yard line. It's on the 22. Wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson. He's got some room. He's got first down yardage and more up to the 30. So he needed 3. He got 8. Kyle running hard for Smoky Valley. Does have a little bit of wrap-up on his right arm and forearm. He said it might have been a little blood that he got cut somehow. It might be a little thumb sprain or something. Here comes 2 receivers to the near side, Thomas and Abel. Vikings will go I formation this time. Heitschmidt dropping back to pass, looking down the field, and goes in the middle to Abel and goes behind him just a little bit. Heitschmidt mad at himself for not completing that at a better angle. That was just a pretty simple throw on a little slant pattern there. So second down and 10 for Smoky Valley. 2:53 is where the clock stops on the incomplete pass.
You know, coming into tonight, Kyle Anderson had 127 carries for 828 yards. Prior to that last possession, in this last possession here, he's up to 967 on the year. So the quest for 1,000 is definitely a possibility for this evening.
Barring the fact that he may not get much playing time in the second half, here comes Heitschmidt again calling his own number, and he'll get 3, maybe 4 yards on the carry. And he'll give him a great spot, so it looks like he'll give him just 3 yards. Now even backing up more like a 2-yard carry on that one. Ball is at the 32-yard line. They got to get to the 40, so third down and 8 for the Vikings. Thomas and Abel go near side. Flanker is Lambert. Shotgun formation this time for Heitschmidt, rolling to the near side, still rolling, going to go to Thomas. Caught. Nice. Zion Thomas has just got great hands all the way up to the 46-yard line for a first down. Heitschmidt is a very capable passing quarterback, and I bugged him one day when I went up to get my interview from Coach Lambert. I said, call off the run play, audible, get yourself some passing yardage. He said, I like passing, but I like running too, and he likes directing the offense is what he's really good at.
Hard to audible when you've got guys like that in the backfield who run the ball so well. But, everybody on this team wants to see everybody be successful, and I think that's the biggest key, and Brett's used those opportunities to the finest.
Heitschmidt rolling out again. He's getting some pressure back across the way. It goes to Lambert. Intercepted by Chapman. This could be their biggest play of the night across midfield down to the 40-yard line. It was kind of batted up in the air, and it was just a who's going to catch it between Lambert and the defender, and the defender ended up with the ball in his hand. So an interception down to the 35-yard line, taken the other way inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. So Chapman with a little bit of momentum on their side here on the interception.
Yeah, the furthest they've been in our territory. It was a little bit, Brett had pressure right in his face there, had to let the ball go. It looked like it got hung up in the wind just a little bit. The defender and Timmy both had a chance to get a hand on it, tipped it up in the air, and it was intercepted and taken back. And here's another situation where Chapman had 12 guys in the huddle when they broke the huddle, and they're going to get the illegal participation on this one.
Well, they didn't get the one on the first play of the game, but this one they do, as Colston goes out, if he's not in the huddle, he's okay to go out. But if it's in the huddle, which he was, you can't leave. So the other guy over there on the side, Jaden Jackson, needed to go off the field instead of Colston. So 1st and 15 for the Chapman Irish now. Watkins in motion. They're going to give it to the fullback, Harvey, and he'll get down to the 40-yard line. So first down carry by Harvey. Gets it back to second down and 11 for the Chapman Irish. Now with only 1:35 left to go. So if they're going to have a chance to score, they're maybe going to have to air it out a little bit. They do have they have only 2 timeouts left. They used one early. Play clock at 11. They got plenty of time to get the play off. Jackson under center. Watkins in motion. Quarterback Jackson's going to keep it himself. He's near first down yardage. I thought I saw the ball come out, but I guess it wasn't, as Jackson gets first down yardage across the 30 down inside near the 27-yard line. So 1st and 10 Chapman at the 27 of Smoky Valley. Well, maybe we're loosening up a little bit, expecting them to pass, and then Jackson calls his own number and takes it. Wonder if Jaden Jackson and Isaac Jackson are brothers. One's a junior, one's a senior. They both got about the same build. Tall, lanky guys. Flex bone formation for Chapman. Lemon in motion. Jackson going to lob it and caught by Watkins. Oh, my goodness, what a hit by Zach Abel. Zach Abel just laid a shoulder down and then tripped over Jackson as he was reacting to the crowd a little bit. But Watkins held on to it. Nice little pass from Jackson. Just kind of a soft little toss there. Floated it up in the air.
Yeah, that soft little toss, I think, set him up for a pretty good shot, though, because that ball hung in the air for a little bit. The last couple times they passed, they threw it deep and it got away from him, so he just laid it out there. But Zach closed quickly and put quite a pop on him there, and like you said, fell over him to add insult to injury.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was trying to do anything damaging. They do have a timeout on the field, but we'll keep this one right here as the Vikings trying to hold on to this 30-0 lead with just 29.8 seconds left to go. have a little kid cheer going on here at halftime. It looks like they got a lot of energy down there on that track.
Yeah, they had a lot of them up at the school today practicing these cheers and getting ready. It's kind of been an annual tradition since I've been here to have this night and have all these kids involved on this day off of school. So it's good to see a nice group down there. It's good to see the field and the fans here this evening. Our band, of course, under the direction of Adam Keller, doing a great job again tonight, as they always do, and a really nice student section, and really great, especially for a senior night celebration as well.
We need to get read the names of the other seniors. We got the football players, but at halftime we'll read the names of the cross-country, volleyball, and tennis. Is that all?
We also have dance team and cheer team as well.
Dance team and cheer team as well. So we got a lot of seniors we'll read off here in our halftimes. Second down and short for Chapman. Jackson looking down deep, looking into the end zone. Nobody can get it. Lambert and Schrog on the coverage of Colston, the wide receiver, and neither one of them could come up with it, so it falls incomplete. It'll be third down and short for the Chapman Irish.
And we're going to the good end here for us. We're going to the end that says Smoky Valley in the end zone, and there for a brief second, I think the quarterback thought that he had a little space in the end zone, but Timmy in his all-black uniform back there in the end zone kind of blended in very well back there. Exactly, and it's not quite the same way on the other Bethany side, because you've got the Bethany yellow and blue, and so he was able to blend in a little bit, and I thought he had a good chance at intercepting that one, but the ball got over everybody's head.
3rd and 3 for the Chapman Irish. Ball at the 21-yard line. Jackson with a quick slant, and Colston can't get that one. He stopped there, and I think Jackson thought he was going to keep on going, and that falls incomplete. So now it's 4th down. Looks like they were giving up yardage to get the completion there to get the first down, and now they'll have to make sure they get first down or the Viking defense will hold.
Coming into tonight, they're not a great passing team. I think Jackson has been 14 of 47 on the year for 280 yards, so only hitting at about a 30% clip. And probably less than that this evening. So passing the ball not really their forte, as they're going to use another timeout here and talk about it on 4th and about 3.5 to 4.
With 20.5 seconds left to go, we'll step aside as well. Timeout on the field. Vikings lead at 30-0 just before halftime. Back right after this.
People's Bank and Trust is proud to support the Lindsborg community and the athletes at Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College. I'm Ryan Beedard, branch manager at the Lindsborg location for People's Bank and Trust, a proud native of Lindsborg, and I'm ready to be your banker. People's Bank and Trust, meeting the needs of our community and always improving the way we do business. Located at 201 South Main in Lindsborg, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Vikes and go Swedes.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. Well, the Chapman Irish have decided to go for a field goal here. The man in the white hat says, you guys gotta wait for me. I haven't given you the ready for play yet. So Colston is the place kicker. The holder is number 5, LeBeau. And they will try a 35-yard kick, and it is going to end up being short. No good. And the Vikings will have 15 seconds to run out. So a field goal try from 35 yards, no good.
Yeah, it didn't really look like he made clean contact with it on the kick. Definitely they're trying to get a little bit of momentum built up for him here as we end the first half and get a chance to roll into the second, because there haven't been a lot of things that have gone well for Chapman here in this first half. So
unfortunately,
you definitely are trying to see if you get a bit of momentum. I would truly expect the Vikings here to take a knee, but then again,
Chapman is expecting something. They got 3 safeties back about 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. They're thinking the Vikings are going to get some room, and here comes Riley Odell romping up the middle. He's going to take it and get about a 15-yard carry for a Viking first down, which will stop the clock until it's ready for play. I don't think I'll see Coach Lambert scheduling or signaling for a timeout. Well, they got a first down on the first play, but they're certainly letting them get some little yardage before a big yardage, and there will start the clock, and that'll be it. Our halftime score, Smoky Valley dominated the first half. They lead 30-0. We'll be back to wrap it up and give you some stats after this timeout.
Area high school athletes now have a big home field advantage. The new Salina Regional Sports Medicine Clinic. Led by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Timothy Hawks, Salina Regional Sports Medicine offers comprehensive care from education to prevent sports injuries, to performance, to the preservation and healing of damaged joints through surgery and rehabilitation. Fellowship trained in sports medicine orthopedic surgery, Dr. Hawks specializes in the diagnosis and treatment of ligament, cartilage, and meniscus injuries. He and his team of physical therapists, athletic trainers,
and we all got a much better appreciation for elementary teachers in the process. The cheerleaders did a great job of teaching these little ones, and they are excited to perform and roar for you. They will do 2 cheers and then perform their dance to Roar by Katy Perry, choreographed by cheerleader Skylar Venables. We'll get them lined up and the cheerleaders get their space so they don't kick anybody in the face. And we are ready for our cheer. Tonight to Omen, choreographed by Heather Schreiner. It will feature seniors Heather Schreiner and Peyton Stevenson. Davey Rogers is also a senior Wildfire member, but is not dancing tonight due to an injury. The Wildfires are Captain Peyton Stevenson, Heather Schreiner, Patty Enyard, Taylor Barnes, Carissa Kindlesberger, Elena McMillan, and Carol Elliott. Now I'd like to direct your attention back to the track. Ladies and gentlemen, our next presentation is from Custom Fundraising Solutions to the Smoky Valley High School Music Department. On Saturday, October 7th, the Smoky Valley High School Music Department hosted their first annual mattress sale. Thanks to the amazing and supportive Smoky Valley community, we were able to raise $6,560. These funds will go directly to supporting the cost of next year's music department trip to Denver, Colorado. The Smoky Valley Music Department would like to thank Mrs. Terry Costin, the Smoky Valley Administration, and the terrific Smoky Valley community. Thank you all for your help, support, and patronage. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. We have one more presentation to do. This evening, we are proud to announce the 2018 May Faith Royalty for Smoky Valley High School. We would like to thank all of the applicants for participating in this year's May Faith Scholarship Competition. The students named King and Queen tonight will participate in the May Faith activities happening in McPherson during the second week of May. Congratulations to Queen Kate Everett and King Carter Couchman. Could the King and Queen please come to the track for their crowning? Congratulations to Kate and Carter.
Pointed out, they do play their sub-state play tomorrow morning, or tomorrow during the day. Tennis, of course, they finished up their season, I believe, last weekend at the state tournament. Megan Sample, Sophie Smith, Bailey Wolf, and Heather Schreiner. Cross country, of course, tomorrow over at Rolling Acres.
Rolling
Acres. We have Kaylee Cornett, Carter Couchman, Lawrence Dalston, Taylor Kuntz, Zach Lott, and Logan Rawson. And like we said, starting around 10:30 tomorrow with the running. And I can't remember if that was boys or girls, but what the direction was there.
Boys first.
Dance team. We have 3 dance team seniors this year: Heather Schreiner, Danielle Rogers, and Peyton Stevenson. And our cheer squad, we have Kaylin Stambaugh as well. So a number of great seniors involved in all of our programs, and all very active participants here at Smoky Valley as well.
Halftime still continues. There's 5 minutes before, and they may put another little more time on the clock, but we'll turn it back to Jared, take about a 3-minute timeout. Vikings up 30-0, back with more halftime right after this.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lindsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Yeah, sure, the weather may be enjoyable now, but those brisk icy winds aren't far away. Keep Jack Frost out of your garage, out of your home, and most importantly, out of your pockets. Let Overhead Door eliminate those pesky air leaks with a cold weather tune-up for the biggest opening of your home, your garage door. This month, Overhead Door Company is offering a 20% discount on all top, side, and bottom seals with installation. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas in Salina and McPherson. Online at odcnck.com.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins, 785-472-4426 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you know what major TV networks, Hall of Fame athletes, wineries, pubs, famous chefs, and brides and grooms from across the country have in common? They all purchase custom-etched glassware at glassdecorators.com. EmsloyGlassDecorators.com have been providing carefully etched glass for nearly 30 years. An effective tool for company branding, etched glasses are also perfect for school and civic groups, special occasions, and that one-of-a-kind gift they won't find anywhere else. Emsloyd Scandinavian Specialties and GlassDecorators.com, supporting Smoky Valley athletics since 1984.
Direct Access Physical Therapy is available at Lindsborg Community Hospital. Direct Access means you can schedule an appointment for PT without a doctor's order. Sports rehab, post-joint replacement, back pain. Schedule an appointment for evaluation and treatment. Mark, Robin, Nikki, and Derek will get you on your way to better health and activity. Call 785-227-3308 and ask for physical therapy at Lindsborg Community Hospital. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas invites you to visit their website at odcnck.com. Once there, you can look over the products that Overhead Door offers for commercial and residential installation and repair. Overhead Door Company services all of North Central Kansas.
Do you know what major TV networks, Hall of Fame athletes, wineries, pubs, famous chefs, and brides and grooms from across the country have in common? They all purchase custom-etched glass at glassdecorators.com. EmsloyGlassDecorators.com has been providing carefully crafted etched glass for nearly 30 years. An effective tool for company branding, etched glasses are also perfect for school and civic groups, special occasions, and that one-of-a-kind gift they won't receive anywhere else. Emsloyd Scandinavian Specialties and GlassDecorators.com, supporting Smoky Valley athletics since 1984.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. And speaking of Bethany College, because of a concern for the weather, they're starting their kickoff tomorrow morning down in Winfield. Will be at 11 a.m., so you can listen to Jeremy Bone and Levi Esses on the call at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning from Winfield. They're hoping to get that game in before the weather changes down there. Kansas Wesleyan and Tabor, they've moved their kickoff time to 6 o'clock, I believe, at Tabor, so they're hoping the weather's away from them before they start. So little weather concerns here. Tonight it's no weather concerns here as the Vikings all Smoky Valley in a 30-0 lead here at halftime. Big rivalry in Salina, Salina South, Salina Central. Salina South up 17-0 over Central. Hayes 15, Abilene 0 at halftime. Campus over Derby That's a surprise. I think in Derby, way better team. Campus leading 17-7. Sacred Heart and El Saline, it was 7-0 in the second quarter. I thought I had 21-7 at halftime. And Marysville, 56, Minneapolis 0 at halftime. You got some other scores.
I do have a few more scores. Kingman still leads Hugoton 3-0, so that field goal by Kingman early certainly coming in handy. Marion up 22-6 on Hillsborough. Halstead 14-0 or 14-6 up on Trinity. Wichita West up 7-0 on Wichita East. Carroll 21, Capon 13. Conway Springs 14, Cheney 0. Andover 21, Valley Center 0. Garden Plain 14, Chaparral 6. Ellsworth up 30-0 on Lions at the half. Bueller putting in some work on El Dorado, 41-6 at the half there. Mulvane 21-7 up on Wellington. Heston 27-22 right now in a shootout with southeast of Saline. Holcomb up 13-7 on Pratt. Holcomb has been quite the nemesis for Pratt over the last few years. Larned up 10-6 on Hoisington, and Nickerson up right now 14-7 on Collegiate.
And you haven't found a Chapman and Rock Creek score, or Clay Center and Rock Creek, have you?
Have not found that one yet.
Okay, so that's another one we'll be looking for, because that's the other part of our district is Vikings. We're assuming that Chapman will win, or Clay Center will win that game, so it'll set up 2-0 Clay Center against 2-0 Smoky Valley, and then we'll be looking to play, if we win that game next week, we'll be looking to host the loser of Nickerson and Wichita Collegiate like we did last year when we hosted Nickerson here before moving down to Pratt. So that's a little bit how that will take effect. 2 minutes until the kickoff of the second half. Jared, let's take a 1 minute timeout and we'll come back with the second half kickoff. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football.
Area high school athletes now have a big home field advantage. The new Salina Regional Sports Medicine Clinic. Led by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Timothy Hawks, Salina Regional Sports Medicine offers comprehensive care, from education to prevent sports injuries, to performance, to the preservation and healing of damaged joints through surgery and rehabilitation. Fellowship trained in sports medicine orthopedic surgery, Dr. Hawks specializes in the diagnosis and treatment of ligament, cartilage, and meniscus injuries. He and his team of physical therapists, athletic trainers, and his physician assistants support 5 area high schools, providing the highest quality, most timely care to athletes of every sport. In the school training facility, on the field, or in our clinic, we're ready wherever and whenever you need us. From high school athletes to weekend warriors, we'll help you get back in the game and keep you in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, the leader in comprehensive sports medicine.
The Vikings play here.
And welcome back to Lindstrom Brothers Field, Anderson Stadium here on the campus of Bethany College, and lots of exciting things going on at Bethany College. Just got done with their homecoming, Hillningsfest weekend. Everybody survived. Your family, everybody survived Hillningsfest weekend?
Everybody made it through. A little rainy and a little bit of lightning. Had the chance to come out and watch Bethany play for the first time this year on Saturday as well, and it was definitely an exciting game against Sterling and a fun game to watch.
Yeah, no question about that. Coach Hubbard having his best year of his career so far. Chapman will kick off with the win. Smoky Valley has Zion Thomas and Kyle Anderson, or Tim Lambert? Tim Lambert back there to receive. They're standing back about the 10-yard line. And we are set to go. 30-0. See what happens here in the second half. Man in the white hat is not yet signaled for the start of play. They put 15 minutes on the clock, and it's only supposed to be 12. 12 minutes.
We're going to play extra this half. We're gonna. Well, a couple of things. The Vikings, Kyle Anderson, we mentioned, he's only 33 yards away from the 1,000 mark, and the Vikings as a team went over the 2,000 mark there in the first half on the ground, so that's exciting.
High kick, and it's going to go in the open space and go out of bounds. So Colson tried to get it to no man's land, and maybe they could recover the kick. Vikings kind of have a hole over there, but Lambert was right over there watching it go out of bounds, and a flag came out, so the Vikings will get it 35 or 40. I don't remember where it starts in high school. It's been a while since we've seen a kickoff out of bounds. But they'll spot it at the 35, and that's where Smoky Valley will have it 1st and 10. Seeing if they can put a drive alive. They didn't score on every drive of the first half because they threw the interception, but I think they scored on 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think the interception was the only one we didn't score on.
So we'll go Wishbone this time. Hutchman will go under center. Long play count. He's going to hand it off to Anderson. Anderson's got some room trying to get through some tackles. Now he's pushed over backwards after he gets across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. So a pickup of 6, maybe 7 on the play. Looking down and 3 for the Vikings. A good first down run by Smoky Valley. Probably won't see the starters in very long after this first series. They'll probably start sprinkling in some new guys here as the Vikings dominated that first half, and that gives them a chance to get some young guys some playing time. Here comes Lambert trying to get outside. This time he outruns the coverage, gets across midfield, and then pulled out of bounds by the Chapman Irish, but not before he gets down near the 45-yard line of Chapman. So a pickup of about 14 yards on that play, I believe.
Yeah, excellent pursuit by Austin Carter for Chapman there, because if he doesn't get Timmy on the angle there, I think he gets that corner, and he's probably still running.
So first down, Smoky Valley. Elliott, the fullback, behind Heitschmidt with Lambert and Anderson, the two tailbacks. Turns and hands it off to Cord Elliott. Cord Elliott churning hard. Cord Elliott first down yardage across the 30 and more. Still churning and finally driven down about the 28-yard line. So sweet running by Cord Elliott as he gets 15, 18, 19, whatever it was. Another one of those power runs by Cord Elliott. He's got that blend of speed and power. And we keep talking about how high he runs with his knees. It's just hard to bring him down.
Yeah, and Blake Keeble was blocking about 8 to 10 yards up the field, and Court ran him over on the way to that. I think he should have known the train was coming.
1st and 10, Smoky Valley. Here comes Heitzman. No, it's Anderson trying to get outside. They're a little deceptive in that backfield tonight, but Kyle Anderson gets a rare stop with no gain on the play. So 2nd down and 10 for Smoky Valley. Maybe the length of the football game, it barely, if any. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Vikings up 30-0, looking to add more on their first drive of the second half. Wishbone formation behind Heitschmidt. Turn and hand it off to Elliott. He's got room. He's got first down yardage and a little bit more inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. Another first down run by Cord Elliott. Everybody else is getting yardage but Kyle Anderson. He's on his quest to get over the 1,000-yard mark, and he's just gotten one carry of any substantial yardage in this second half so far. 10 left to go, 3rd quarter. Vikings driving. Heitzman under center. Going to hand it off to Lambert. Lambert's got some room. He's zigzagging through the middle and down to inside the 10-yard line. He'll pick up about 8 on the carry. 2nd down and 2 for Smoky Valley. Just great blocking by the inside linemen. Just do such an excellent job. Those guys are.
Got John Burks in there. Got Kai Shugren in there. Nate Grosland. Conrad Peterson.
And Ethan
Wampler, and then, of course, the 2 tight ends that are often in there, Jacob Adams, sometimes Zion Thomas, and also Blake Hebel.
They just do such a tremendous job of allowing these runners to pick up yardage when they have a big head of steam. Here comes Kyle. He's trying to get in. Touchdown. Kyle went the last yard or two vertical to the line, or horizontal to the line of the field, and was able to take it in from the...
Looks like he went in from the 10, so he's 16 yards away from that 1,000 number right now. That is his 3rd touchdown on the day as well, so it's definitely been a very active day for Kyle and all the things that he has done, and a great senior night for Kyle as well. The Vikings now going to attempt an extra point here. It looks like Riley Odell's going to come out. Of course, Brandon Malma's kicked some for us this year, but Brandon is still out with effects from a concussion earlier, so Riley's going to take the opportunity to kick here as well, and he's done that in the past for us as well.
He's punted. He's done some other things. That point after attempt is up, and it is good. Our score with 9:24 left to go, third quarter. Smoky Valley 37, Chapman 0. Back right after this.
At Mocha's, they get it. They understand your morning cup of coffee is more than just coffee. They know that your favorite coffee drink is the only way to make your day flow. Fresh coffee, lattes, sandwiches, and more. Mocha's with 2 Salina locations, 916 East Crawford and 2424 South 9th Street next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Ace your next harvest with A-Series beans from Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist, providing Pioneer wheat, corn, soybean, sunflower, and Milo seed, along with the crop protection chemicals you need. Grow with the winner, Phelps Seed, with you from the word go.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium. Lindstrom Brothers Field, the Vikings culminated a how many yard drive? Do we know? I forgot to see where we took it over at the...
Took it over at the 42?
I think that's what it was.
No, the 30, 42.
Kick by Raleigh Wilson is smothered by Lemon for Chapman. They'll take over at the 40-yard line for their first possession, but we've been getting better about writing down where we started that
That's
drive.
right. We took it at the 35 because the ball was kicked out of bounds.
That's right.
So we took over at the 35. So it was a 65-yard drive. I had a question from Mike Rose up there watching us, who was the last 1,000-yard rusher for Smoky Valley was. Well, that was Kyle Anderson last year as well.
Yeah.
So he has a chance to do that back-to-back years for Smoky Valley.
I think he had like 12 or 1,300 yards total. Here comes quarterback Jackson keeping it for Chapman, and he'll get wrapped up after about a 3-yard gain on the play. Trying to fake those, coming up off the bottom of the pile, Riley Odell, along with Tim Lambert coming up from his safety position. I don't know if he was in on the tackle, but he was certainly there assisting. So second down and a long 7 for Chapman. Their first possession of the second half. Colston, the receiver to the far side, one to the near side, that flex bone position. Comes Harvey, the big guy. He's into the secondary and goes over the top of Lane Schrog. Lane Schrog with the tackle, but not before Harvey gets a nice carry across midfield and down to the 42-yard line. That's their biggest play from scrimmage of the night. Well, Harvey showing what he can do if he gets a little seam there, and he finally got that little burst and got that seam.
Yeah, your question a second ago, how many yards did Kyle have last year? He put up 1,436 yards last year, and that was all the way through all 11 games that we played. So well on pace to be able to do that and break that this year as well.
First and 10, Chapman in Smoky Valley territory at the 42-yard line. Harvey, the big fullback, gets wrapped up this time. No way that Vikings were going to let him come through the middle. Riley Odell and Wampler and Peterson in on the tackle for Smoky Valley. Second down and 8. Ball right at the 40-yard line. Chapman wanting to get a score here. Would love to put some points on the board. I think the score last week against Clay Center was 48-8, if I remember right. Vikings are 1-0, looking to go 2-0 in the district. Chapman playing Rock Creek tonight. Oh, it looked like the ball got away from the quarterback there, but then he took it and went it right up the middle. He was falling down, and I think he was picking up the ball anyway. It looked like it was gotten loose, but he'll get a yard gain, well, just barely a yard across the tail end of the ball is touching the 40-yard line now, so it's going to be third down. We'll call it still 8 yards to go for the Chapman Irish. Pratt getting beat tonight by, did you say Hugoton or Holcomb? Holcomb tonight. Oh, there's somebody in motion. The first penalty. Is that the first penalty on Chapman? No, they had a couple of other silly penalties earlier.
Yeah, it's their fourth penalty of the night, I believe.
Fourth penalty of the night.
Yeah, just a couple of quick shots there from around the league. Halstead up 22-6 now on Trinity. Kingman now up 10-0 on Hugoton. Marion 30-6 over Hillsboro. Heston 27-22. Holcomb 13-7 over Pratt. By the way, Heston was over Southeast of Saline. Larned 10-6 over Hoisington. And no score between Sterling and Haven. And still 14-7, Nickerson over Collegiate.
And it's 37-0 here. A little pass caught by Colston in the flat. Quickly tackled by Winholtz and Elliott there after a game, but there's a flag down there right at the feet of the official, so I don't know if they got a face mask in on the tackle because there's nobody else there for Chapman. It's going to be personal foul face mask on the Vikings, so mark off 15 yards against Smoky Valley, either Winholtz or Elliott on that penalty, because those two were in on the tackle.
Yeah, unfortunate because it was a really well defended play. We gave him ground. We lay off a little bit and allow him to make that catch. He didn't get very far up the field, and like you said, Winholtz right there on the spot and following the play up was Cord Elliott coming from the inside. So it's hard to tell which person got a little bit of the face mask there, but somebody obviously did.
And didn't let go because they called it a personal foul one. So first down by penalty at the 25-yard line, dropping back to pass and caught in the flat. Winholtz quickly on top of Colston, so they're completing a couple of passes now in the flat and trying not to go downfield to overthrow. So Jackson a little more on target in this half.
Yeah, they have 14 receptions this season coming into tonight, and 11 of those were by Colston. So I think you have a really good idea where they're going to go when they throw the ball this evening, and they've been able to hit him. But again, Vikings just bending but not breaking, giving up a few yards at a time there, but keeping everything in front of them.
So second down, we'll call it 3 to go for Chapman. 37-0 is our score at the 5:55 mark of the third quarter. There's a big power play by Harvey. Passing loosens up the Vikings just a little bit. Blake Hebel in on the tackle, but not before Harvey gets into the red zone and gets a first down. Low rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. The Viking defense needs to stiffen here. 1st and 10, ball at the 11-yard line, it says on the scoreboard. Gone all that way with wide receiver each way, and that flex bone now Lemon in motion. Now Harvey, the big guy in the middle, he's wrapped up with no gain on the play, maybe a loss of a yard. We'll see where they actually spot it, but Riley Odell, among others, pushing him back in the middle there.
Yeah, so hard to tell on a play like that because Blake Hebel, Riley Odell looked like they both had him down low, and then a couple of players coming in to finish him off up high. So, again, just a great job. Another one of those little counter-type plays where they fake the pitch, give the quick handoff up the middle to the big guy, and we are right on top of that play. It looks like they're going to give him a yard on that one.
Yeah, it will. 2nd down and 9. Jackson under center. Man in motion is Lemon. Now they blow the play dead. Somebody moved on the Chapman Irish, so they'll back them up 5 yards. 2nd down and 14 now for the Chapman Irish. Chapman getting a little bit nervous or something, maybe getting down inside, getting a little anxious, got a little momentum on their side, getting this drive started at the 40-yard line of Smoky Valley, so had a couple of penalties to help them along the way, but they're put this drive together. They want to score badly. They're just getting a little anxious.
Yeah, their longest drive by far of the evening, and also 8 plays in this drive, too, so keeping the Viking defense out on the field a little bit longer.
Watkins in motion now. Pitch to Watkins. He's trying to get outside. Jacob Adams trying to string it out, but he gets around Jacob and runs out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Looks like he's going to be fairly close to the 5-yard line. We'll see where they spot him. Maybe the 7. Looks like they'll spot it end up at the 7-yard line. So pick up a 7 on the play. 3rd down and 6 to go for Chapman. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. The ball was originally at the 11-yard line where the first down was a couple of plays ago.
Looks like Smoky Valley's going to take a timeout here to talk it over.
We'll step aside as well with 4:24 left to go in the third quarter. Vikings up 37-0. Back right after this.
Yeah, sure, the weather may be enjoyable now, but those brisk icy winds aren't far away. Keep Jack Frost out of your garage, out of your home, and most importantly, out of your pockets. Let Overhead Door eliminate those pesky air leaks with a cold weather tune-up for the biggest opening of your home, your garage door. This month, Overhead Door Company is offering a 20% discount on all top, side, and bottom seals with installation. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas in Salina and McPherson. Online at odcnck.com.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Smoky Valley trying to keep Chapman out of the end zone. It's 37-0. The Viking defense, we talked about that early in the year. They were bending but not breaking, and then they started really, the last 5 or 6 weeks, have just dominated both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and now they're getting called upon by their coach to keep Chapman out of the end zone. They're facing a 3rd and 6 at the Smoky Valley 7, so they got to get to the 1-yard line to get a first down. Jackson under center motion. Jackson's going to roll this way. He's getting chased by Kai Shugren. He throws the ball to Harvey. Touchdown. Pass is complete to Harvey, the fullback, and he gets it in the end zone. Carson Winholtz right on top of him, but he hauls it in. A good pass by Jackson. And with 4:17 to go in the third quarter, Chapman gets their first score of the night.
Yeah, 10-play drive set up there by Chapman on the 60 yards on the total amount there. That's the first touchdown the Vikings have given up since the Heston game. First score we've given up since the Heston game there in the fourth quarter. So they will come out and attempt the PAT, point after touchdown here. Number 36 getting ready to kick that one up.
Kopic, and it is no good. So our score with 4:17 left to go, Smoky Valley 37, Chapman 6, back right after this.
As an active person, whether on the playing field or a morning bike ride, an injury can stop you. Quick treatment from Salina Ortho can lead to quick recovery. Don't allow an injury to keep you from the active life you enjoy. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. Improve your yield with A-Series soybeans from DuPont Pioneer. Available through Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist. Using accelerated yield technology, A-Series beans deliver 2.3 more bushels per acre than the competition. Phelps Seed and Pioneer, with you from the word go.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. Bethany College will kick off tomorrow morning at Winfield at 11 o'clock. So they moved that starting time up from 1:30 in the afternoon to 11 in the morning. So the morning kickoff, a rare morning kickoff. Here Colston will kick it off for Chapman. Again, trying to pooch it over the top of the upbacks, and it bounced off and now picked up by Zion Thomas at the 25-yard line. Last time it went out of bounds over there. This time it caused a little commotion before they got it there, and that's where Smoky Valley will take over 1st and 10. If they can put another drive alive, get Kyle Anderson to get how many yards per 1,000?
16 after the touchdown run. Not sure we see him out here at this point in time, though, so we'll have to see.
He may not be. We'll see.
We can send word down that we're trying to get those next 60. No, he's still out there, so we're in good shape.
Anderson and Elliott and Riley Odell, I believe, in the backfield behind Heitschmidt. They'll go wishbone formation. And turn and hand it off to Kyle. He's got more than enough yardage. He's dropping up to the 45-yard line. He'll get 20 on that carry. So from the 25 to the 45, a 20-yard carry for Kyle Anderson. And he becomes a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher for Smoky Valley.
Yeah, and what a great job. And, looking at Kyle run, and he was not a bad runner last year, but I think he's a much improved runner this season in his strength as well as his vision of the field. I think he sees things so well, and that's evidenced by another great rushing season for Kyle.
Wishbone formation. Heitschmidt hands it off to Riley Odell. Riley trying to get to midfield. He's going to be just short. He'll get to the 49.5-yard line. And that's where the team tackling of Chapman takes over after that. Takes a team to bring down Riley Odell. He's a force in there at fullback. And now Blake Hebel coming in. I don't know if he's taking his place, or now he's going in at tight end. So Blake Hebel in at tight end. Second down and a long 6 for Smoky Valley. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying the left side. He's trying to get first down yardage. He'll be at the first down marker. Did he get enough to get over the top and get 6 more yards? They haven't signaled first down yet. No man in the white hat says first down. So another 6 yards for Kyle. Ball at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Smoky Valley.
We've seen another healthy dose of this wishbone that we tend to see once Smoky Valley gets into the lead and has a commanding lead. We usually see this wishbone offense here, wishbone formation, and just a lot of pounding, running, and then hitting the edge eventually as well with our speed.
Heitschmidt takes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself this time. He's down to the 40, down to the 39, maybe the 38. We'll see. It looks like they'll spot it at the 39-yard line, so he'll pick up 5 on that carry. Brett Heitschmidt has had a pretty big night carrying the football tonight.
Yeah, and again, just a nice blend of where we're going with the ball. We're going to pound the middle, then we're going to hit the edge. We're going to use running back, then we're going to put the ball in the quarterback's hands after he does a fake. So, again, just keeping the defenses on their toes.
Heitschmidt under center, turns and hands it off to Tim Lambert this time, trying to get some yardage, and he'll get upended. He will not get the first down. Good defense in there by Chapman, kind of creating a pile of Vikings there, unable to push them out of the way like they normally have been. So they'll pick up a couple. We'll leave it 3rd down and a long 2. Ball rolling away again in the wind. Have to hang on to that ball until, as long as the point stays forward, it doesn't get caught by the wind. But as soon as that point kind of gets turned to the side, the wind catches it and rolls it to the north. Wishbone formation again behind Heitschmidt. Here comes Kyle Anderson running. Here comes Kyle Anderson just running over a would-be tackler. He just landed that tackler flat on his back. Number 40, that's Harvey. That's their big running back playing middle linebacker, and Kyle just ran over him and pushed him back another 3 or 4 yards. He got down to the 31-yard line. So Smoky Valley continues to dominate the line of scrimmage. Minute 35 left to go, 3rd quarter. Vikings up 37-6 on the Chapman Irish. Turns and hands it off to Odell. Odell's pounding. He's taking about 3 or 4 tacklers with him. He'll get near first down yardage to the red zone. And Riley will get into the red zone. How many tacklers were on his back at that point?
He moved that about another 4 or 5 yards after he made contact into the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. 1st and 10 Vikings at about the 19.5-yard line.
Looking to add to their 37-6 score. Here comes Riley. No, here comes Kyle. And Kyle gets wrapped up this time. Conrad Peterson is having the tackle or having the block on Harvey, but Harvey got the best of him that time. And Harvey ended up getting a tackle, fending off Conrad Peterson and tackling Kyle Anderson. Now, that's a good job of playing defense right there.
He's quite a physical specimen, that number 40 there. He does such a nice job of being able to play off plays. He's a strong runner for him. That's Harvey, of course. But he's in a lot of tackles. He's always involved in the play and fending off blockers to get there.
Vikings have to hurry a little bit. Play clock down to 7, 6, 5. Heitschmidt turns and hands it off to Lambert. Lambert streaking across and down to the 15-yard line. That's where the Vikings will face 3rd down and long now. They got to get to the 9-yard line for a first down.
Looks like they'll maybe have some time over the quarter to be able to think about it as well as the clock continues to run out.
And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter in the books, and the Vikings lead at 37-6, looking to add more. We'll be back with the start of the 4th quarter right after this.
People's Bank and Trust is proud to support the Lindsborg community and the athletes at Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College. I'm Ryan Beedard, branch manager at the Lindsborg location for People's Bank and Trust, a proud native of Lindsborg, and I'm ready to be your banker. People's Bank and Trust, meeting the needs of our community and always improving the way we do business. Located at 201 South Main in Lindsborg, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Vikes and go Swedes.
The Vikings play here.
Back here at Anderson Field, or Anderson Stadium, home of Lindstrom Brothers Field. 9 plays so far, 4 minutes, 17-second drive for the Vikings has started back on the 26-yard line, moving the ball effectively, just pushing the ball up the field, and like we mentioned here, using a substantial amount of time to do so. Some scores from around the league. Larned up 10-6 still on Hoisington. Holcomb leading Pratt 13-7. Heston still 27-22, the last score we had there. Marion up 44-6 on Hillsboro. The 30-0 score, Ellsworth versus Lions, still what we have. Nickerson now up 21-14 on Collegiate. Trinity down 28-6 to Halstead. Kingman, we said 10-6. And, of course, our score here, Smoky Valley up 37-6 as we get ready to open the fourth quarter.
Salina South taking care of Central 31-0 up there in Salina. And Hayes 22-0 over Abilene. Marysville 70, Minneapolis 6 after 3 quarters. Sacred Heart leads El Salina. That was a 21-7 halftime score. We haven't got an update on that from our Rockingham Radio Network. Wishbone formation for the Vikings, 3rd and long. Here comes, who was in the middle with the ball? Somebody's still with it. I guess it's Riley Odell. And never did get tackled. They finally blew the whistle. And it's going to be 4th down. The ball is going to be spotted at the 12-yard line. So they got to get 4th down and 3. Got to get to the 9. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. The Vikings going for it on 4th down. Don't want to try a field goal. Tried their first extra point other than Brandon Malm, and Riley Odell made it on the last touchdown. Wishbone formation. Going to try Kyle Anderson, and Kyle Anderson's got the first down and a touchdown. Kyle Anderson on 4th down and 2 took it in from the score, and the Vikings up 43-6 with 11:14 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 11-play drive for the Vikings, going 74 yards to get there. Just doing an excellent job putting the ball, running the ball every single play to get down there. And again, it looks like we're going to attempt the point after touchdown here with Riley Odell, giving him that second attempt. It's definitely good to try to get these opportunities out of the way now. If you get one of those games here as we enter in the last week of the season, next week, and of course into the playoffs after that, how many times may you need that opportunity to get that 1 point on the board? So we'll see what Riley does here.
The hold is good. The kick is no good. Line drive got tipped, I believe. So our score with 11:14 to go in the fourth quarter, Vikings 43, Chapman 6, back right after this.
Game day starts and finishes at Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg. Located at 101 North Main, this upscale, one-of-a-kind establishment offers a wide variety of drink and food specials. Come try their jalapeno poppers, coconut chicken tenders, or their classic Monte Cristo. Then wash it down with an ice-cold beer or tall glass of wine. Farley's Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln and Main in downtown Lindsborg. Farley's, your game day headquarters for the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, where tonight the Smoky Valley Vikings enjoying a senior night, giving a thanks and farewell to all these seniors in all sports, dance and cheer and volleyball, tennis, cross country, and football. Kick goes to the 10, 15, 20. Trying to get outside is not Vetter, but something like that. It's Vircher.
We were back on last week.
I knew that wasn't right when I said it, but couldn't remember what his name was. So that's good starting position for the Chapman Irish. Good kickoff by Raleigh Wilson to get the ball down there into the 10-yard line. The Viking defense will be out there. Got Josh DeAndrea coming in to play defense. Andrew Peters is in at one of the corners over there on the far side, taking the place of Carson Winholtz. And Abel have substituted.
Vikings going into more of a 3-4 this time with 3 down linemen there.
Toss trying to get outside is Vircher, the same guy that ran back that kickoff, and he'll get a couple of yards up to the 25-yard line. Maybe 3 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 7 for the Chapman Irish.
Just want to remind you, First Bank Kansas, a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
And don't miss the Remax Advantage Realtors scoreboard show tonight from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. Get a recap of this game, scores from the other area, and wraps from the Rockingham Media Station. Here comes a run up the middle, and the Vikings snuff that one out real quickly. That's the Remax Advantage Realtor Scoreboard Show from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. That carry was by Harvey.
That was the big guy, Harvey, again. It looked like on the tackle was Wampler and Elliott to finish it off.
And he got about a yard on that play, just across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. So they're facing third and a long 5 now for the Chapman Irish, with the countdown continuing, 9:52 and counting. Jackson puts Richer in motion, a fake to him and a pitch or a handoff right up the middle to Harvey, and he's very close to first down yardage. He's going to get the 40 or 35-yard line. He had to get to the 36, so it's going to be 4th down and a yard for the Chapman Irish. Conrad Peterson coming back in, going to go back with 4 down linemen here at this point. Try to stuff that little, I bet they'll key on that little fake toss and a handoff to Harvey up the middle.
You know, the last time they ran that little quarterback dive, too, just got him up under center and used his length to pick it up. So I could easily see them try that here as well.
Trying to get the Vikings offside, so Jackson doing a nice job. And he is going to take it himself, but he's pushed back, and, second and third effort, I think, might have got the first down. So give Jackson credit. The Viking initial push had stopped him and pushed him back to the 34-yard line, but he took that second and third effort and got across and got the first down.
Yeah, Vikings continue to substitute here. Looks like number 56, Carson Holdren, in the game now as well, as they go back to the 4-3 look here. We also have, like you said a little bit ago, Josh DeAndre over here, as well as Andrew Peters in at the other corner as well.
So 1st and 10, Chapman Irish on 4th down. They got the pickup. In motion, Vircher tosses to him, trying to get outside on the far side, but he won't get very much. He'll get maybe a yard on the play. Kai Shugan, among others, coming in and helping on the end of that tackle. I think Tim Lambert and Odell were the first 2 in on the tackle.
Yeah, I think Kyle Anderson actually got a piece of his foot there right at the beginning. He's going from that outside linebacker position, and they're really playing him up close to the line and allowing him the opportunity to get up the field and look for that first guy coming off the edge there in that flex bone.
8:08 to go in the 4th quarter. Vikings up 43-6 over the Chapman Irish. Looks like I had a couple guys in motion, but they didn't blow a flag. Watkins will be dropped for a loss. He tried to get to the outside on the near side, but Jacob Adams and Riley Odell in to stop him. Then going back the other way, looked like Kyle Anderson finished him off along with Tim Lambert.
Yeah, I think Carson Holdren in the mix on that tackle as well from the middle.
Good to see him out there. He had a concussion earlier in the year and had to be out a couple of games, but he's slowly trying to work himself back in there. Vikings have really stayed away from the injury bug pretty well this year with their starting core of 2 deep.
It's knocked on wood for you there as well.
No question about that. Yeah, absolutely. There's a fake now looking to pass the ball is Jackson. He's going to get wrapped up and gain. He's going to gain a little bit. He's going to get about a 5 or 6 yard gain up to the 43-yard line. Now, I don't know if it was a pass or a fake or what it was, but he was in hot pursuit of all the Viking defenders there. He did a good job to get away from him, but they finally wrapped him up. It's going to be 4th down now and about 4 yards to go. So another big 4th down. The last one, they didn't have more than about the length of a football. This time they got to get up to the 48-yard or 47-yard line. So they need a long 3 or short 4 here. Jackson under center, looking over the Viking defense, puts Watkins in motion. He's going to keep it himself, and he's not going to make it. Riley Odell bear hugs him, and he got a little help from Josh DeAndrea and Kyle Anderson on that one. And that was a big mano-a-mano bear hug by Riley Odell. He was not going to let Jackson get across the line of scrimmage or get a first down.
Yeah, so at the 6:31 mark, the Vikings defense holds. They'll bring the offense out on the field now, leading 43-6. Probably going to see a number of different guys here. Looks like Raleigh Wilson coming into the contest here. He'll be running that fullback spot. We do have Cord in there as well as Timmy. Got Kyle in the mix too. I think maybe we're going to have him come out here in a second. And Lane Stroud coming into Q as well.
I figured Elaine would show up pretty quickly. It's just 6.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter now. Vikings up 43-6. I'd like to see this group put a score on the board. Hand off to the last back through. That's Lambert. He's streaking down inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. So he'll pick up about 7 on the play. Second down and 3. That's some more scores starting to trickle in. A final Marysville 77, Minneapolis 12. Wow. That's 11 touchdowns or more. 11 touchdowns if they got every extra point, I guess. The 1-point variety. It's a lot of points in a high school football game. Here's a handoff to Raleigh Wilson. Wally trying to churn hard, getting a little push from the back by Jacob Adams, trying to get near first down yardage. And they do get the first down. So first down yardage by Wilson.
Yeah, great job there. Kept the legs churning, like you said, but also got a little help from Jacob to push him over the edge there and get that first down picked up.
I see Dax Hopp is checked in along with Blake Hebel now. A few more mentions here, as many as we can. First and 10, Smoky Valley. Ball at the 33-yard line. Here comes Cord Elliott running. He's churning. He's trying to get down to the 30. He won't quite make the 30-yard line. Oh, Chapman says they have the ball. Did the referee say that yet?
Yes, they did. Looks like they're pointing to Chapman's way there, so it's going to be a turnover on that play. Ball must have squirted out there from court at the last instant. Couldn't quite see it from where we were at, but immediately Chapman players pointing the other direction. So at the 5:27 mark, the Chapman offense comes back out on the field with an opportunity to try to move the ball down and get another score.
Well, that's interesting because we are really, really good at not fumbling the ball. We don't turn the ball over on the fumble very often. 53, who is that coming in for us? Hunter
Trossel.
He coming in to play down lineman for Smoky Valley. Jackson under center. Here comes the big guy. No, Jackson's got it himself. He's going to try to streak on that outside. When he gets running, he's a Cord Elliott type runner. He gets that legs a churning, and he'll get about 12 or 13 yards across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Well, Jackson got a little bit of room to run there on these younger guys now. Got Holdren in there. We got Trussell in there. We got Brady Weber in there on the line, I believe, 39. We're getting a lot of young guys in on the defensive line now. I think, is JV season over yet, or they still got...
It is. JV season wrapped up about a week ago, I believe.
Jackson under center for the Chapman Irish. Little pass out in the flat. Colson caught it. He had to go back a ways to get it. And Josh DeAndrea right there to stop him down. Blake Hebel, among others, trying to finish it off. And finally, Cord Elliott finishes it off. And now a flag comes in late. I don't know if Vikings were doing too much celebrating in making that tackle or what we had there. The flag got blown all over here behind the Vikings standing on the sideline. Official looking for his unsportsmanlike Smoky Valley.
Definitely not something you want to see here, but it looked like it was more out of an intensity effort. Like you said, the ball was right along the sideline when the tackle was made. It's a good possibility the official just thought that maybe that was a little aggressive once the ball was out of bounds, or a whistle may have sounded, and that hit came in almost simultaneously, because it didn't appear to be anything up here that we had seen, and it just looked like a pretty good football play, and just one of those breaks that doesn't go our way.
First down and 10, Chapman. Attempt up the middle to get some yardage. I don't know if that was Harvey or not, but it goes for a yard gain on the play. Did you have Harvey down for the carry?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a yard gain for Harvey. How many yards does he have? You got a chance to look at that yet? No. He was their leading ground gainer. He had one less carry than Kyle Anderson did coming in, but a couple hundred yards less than Kyle. And he's not had a very big night. Vikings have been very stingy on defense. They've only gave up 40 yards rushing in the whole first half. They've had a little bit more offense. Here comes Harvey again. There's a flag down. Another flag down. Blake Hebel and number 7 for Jaden Jackson getting tangled up in the backfield. But I think there's 2 separate fouls there. He'll be holding on. Chapman is one. That's the only one. Both referees saw that. I thought maybe there was 2 flags coming out. Linesman threw one and the man with the white hat threw the other. Now, how come they... Well, I guess it was from the spot of the foul, because I was going to say that's more than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Goes back across midfield to the 46-yard line of Chapman, so they're going to be facing second down and 22 yards here, with 3:49 and counting left to go in the fourth quarter. Wide receiver each way, that same flex bone formation. Lemon in motion now. Toss to Lemon, trying to get out to the outside. Tim Lambert really does a nice job of flowing along the line of scrimmage and getting that tackle. He just seamed in there from his safety position and got to Lemon for a... Well, he got a loss of about 3 or 4 yards on that play. He's got that speed. That speed helps him both on offense and defense. He just simply outran the blocker to get to the ball carrier.
Yeah, just so quick off the edge. I mean, he does such a great job being able to close, and having him that deep, he recognizes where the ball's going at that point in time as well.
Vikings trying to get a substitution late. Riley Odell coming off, and I'm not sure that that's a problem on the defensive side. Coach Lambert going out and talking with the official, wondering why he threw the flag out there, but instead Smoky Valley calls timeout. So timeout. And I want to thank our sponsors again: Art Shirt, Harry, Malari, Viking Auto, Scott's, R&R Excavating. Contact Mari Loader for all your Smoky Valley real estate needs. Dr. Darrell Loader, Smoky Valley Chiropractic. CNL Heating and Cooling. Lindsberg Family Dental. Phoenix Restoration. People's Bank and Trust. Gallant Tire and Auto. Dower Welding. And Bank of Tescott for helping us with our portion of the broadcast. We've got a little long road trip coming up next week. We get up to Clay Center.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate here at our own building here the last couple of weeks and being able to be here in this nice press box. But you're right, we do go up to Clay Center next week. Hopefully the weather continues to hold up and be as nice as it's been. We hopefully can get through all of the regular season with some really nice Friday nights.
A little stormy a couple of nights, but no other cold, bad weather. Second down and long for Chapman. Jackson looking back to throw and tipped and caught by Lemon. He's still running across the 30 and down to the 20-yard line. How did he catch that ball? He tipped it to himself, tipped it forward, and brought it in traffic and got it inside the 20-yard line, the red zone, the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Flexible rates, flexible plans and low rates, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. Explain to me what concentration he had on that.
Yeah, it was a great job right there. It was a 37-yard play, but the ball looked like it was a good 2 yards ahead of him. He was able to get his right hand out, get the ball tipped, get it at least in an area where he could catch up to it, made the catch, and then got up the field.
Harvey going to know quarterback Jackson's going to run it. Quarterback Jackson has first down yardage inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line. 2:21 left to go in the fourth quarter. The outcome of the game is certainly not in question, but Chapman trying to get a little movement here and get a little score for them.
Yeah, Raleigh Wilson in on that tackle, as well as Tim Lambert coming up from the safety position as well. But he shows a little deception there in his ability to get through and really hit the slide there really quickly to be able to pick up the extra yardage.
Dylan Archuleta checking in for the Vikings. Lemon in motion. Quarterback's going to keep it. Quarterback finally pitches it to Lemon. Good defense there by Carson Winholtz coming up from his safety position to hit the runner and knock him out of bounds at the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Vikings up 43-6. Vikings will travel to Clay Center for the final game of the regular season. If Clay Center is beating Rock Creek, it'll be for the district title, and whether we'll play home or away the following week. Vikings are going to be in control of their own destiny. Nickerson was beating Collegiate, so if we win up there, we would pay Collegiate. Here comes in motion Jackson rolling out in the flat. Pass caught by Watkins. So a pass from the 5-yard line for the Chapman Irish is good, but there is a flag on the play. holding Chapman, so that'll nullify the touchdown. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Well, that's a pretty serious penalty because it's way back at the 12-yard line, so it'll go back to the 22-yard line. So second down and forever now. I got to get to the goal. It's second down and goal from the 22-yard line. So that's a pretty severe penalty for the Chapman Irish. They had a touchdown, and they got whistled for the holding call.
Yeah, moves them all the way out to the 22. Now that really changes your play calling here over the course of the next 3 plays, which you'll most likely think they will use, but it's definitely going to change what they try to do here.
Got 66 Leroy Bean in there. It's a toss trying to get Lemon, trying to get the outside. Cord Elliott trying to run him down and wins the race. Cord Elliott got out there and had the angle, had the good line, and tackled Lemon for a loss on the play back to the 24-yard line. It'll be third down and goal from the 24-yard line now for the Chapman Irish. 1:31 left to go in the fourth quarter. Chapman Irish running out of options here as they've gotten pushed back by a couple of losses and a big penalty. Making a lot of subs in on defense. Jackson dropping back, looking to pass, looking in the end zone. Caught! Colston goes up. Carson Winholtz thought he had it. Colson, just being 6'5" or so, took it in, and what a pass by Jackson into the wind. And a 24-yard pass play is good for the touchdown.
Yeah, beautiful pass there from the quarterback to Colston. He is 6'2". He looks 6'5" on the play. I'll agree with you. But what a great play right there. It looked like Smoky Valley was going to get back and get some pressure. Looked like Zion Thomas was coming up the middle there on a blitz from what it appeared from here and got held up for just a second. But we had 2 defenders in the end zone, both converging on a ball. It was another one of those examples where we were just a bit deeper. Colston ends up using his height to get up, make that catch, and now Chapman will attempt the 2-point conversion.
Same formation. Jackson rolling out, looking in the corner of the end zone, and it is no good. So our score with 1:09 left to go in the fourth quarter, Smoky Valley 43, Chapman 12. Back with the ensuing kickoff right after this.
Yeah, sure, the weather may be enjoyable now, but those brisk, icy winds aren't far away. Keep Jack Frost out of your garage, out of your home, and, most importantly, out of your pockets. Let Overhead Door eliminate those pesky air leaks with a cold weather tune-up for the biggest opening of your home, your garage door. This month, Overhead Door Company is offering a 20% discount on all top, side, and bottom seals with installation. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas in Salina and McPherson. Online at odcnck.com.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Back at Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field, the Chapman Irish put together a drive of, any idea how many yards and how many plays that was?
We have our crack staff working on that right now. We'll get back with you.
I forgot to write down where we took it over. They took it over
the
on
fumble
the
down here, about the 24 or so, I thought.
60-some-yard drivers, a kick, a squibbing, and fallen on by one of the Viking up guys.
Looks like Trey Kennedy there, able to get on top of that.
Good job by the youngster. Is he a freshman or a sophomore?
Trey is a sophomore.
Sophomore. You got to start coaching some of these guys pretty quick. It'll be if the Vikings go deep into the playoffs, you'll get a little less than desirable preseason time to get these guys in basketball shape.
Yeah, it's always one of those things when you're the winter sport guy. You want to see that success from our football program. We definitely hope that they're still playing well into our season, but it does put some little bit of wrinkles on what we're going to try to do as well.
Schrog under center, wishbone formation behind him. Hand it off to Raleigh Wilson. He's churning, trying to get up to the 35-yard line. Vikings would certainly like to just run out the clock here with under a minute now left to go. 43-12 is our score. Certainly aren't looking to score anymore, but we're certainly not looking to cough the ball up so Chapman has a chance to score anymore. Kennedy now coming in for, number 4 is Peters. Andrew Peters coming in for Tim Lambert.
So an entire sophomore backfield here in the wishbone with Raleigh Wilson, Trey Kennedy, and Andrew Peters.
Schrog hands it off, trying to get outside, and good defense. Good little zip there by Kennedy as he tries to get across the 35, and he'll spot him right at the 35-yard line, so it'll be an actual loss of about a half a yard on the play, or it looked like he was going to get thrown for a 3 or 4 yard loss, but he found some kind of a little zip, and that'll be it. Our final score from Anderson Stadium: Smoky Valley wins it 43-12. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you after this timeout.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Boyd Accounting provides professional accounting services in the Lindsborg area. Call them today at 227-2589 for all your accounting needs. Wishing the best of luck to the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs, and one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley Football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details.
Last play of the game, folks.
And the snap. Drops back. Whoa, changes mind. Down the sideline. The 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Casasa! Unbelievable! Did you see that? Casasa!
Not to be a buzzkill, but what's Casasa? We're glad you asked that. Casasa. It's a catchy word for earning cash. Free Casasa checking rewards you in cash each month.
Ask for Casasa. Offered locally at the Bank of Tesket in Salina, Lincoln, Lindsborg, and Tesket. Member FDIC.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Coming up, the Salina Ortho Player of the Game. Scores from around the area, final stats, and an interview with the coach. This is Smoky Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
And welcome back to the Bank of Tesket postgame show. This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. Member FDIC, the Bank of Tesket, and we appreciate them sponsoring this show. And the Vikings take care of business at home on senior night and defeat the Chapman Irish by the score of 43-12. And joining us now is Coach James Henderson, and I'm sure you are proud of your Vikings. You knew this team wasn't as a top-notch team as you'll face down the road, but each week you want to get a little better, and this was a step in the right direction.
Yeah, we really did some nice things offensively against what they, everybody you play, you have a pretty good idea what they're going to do, and they came out very similar to what we were expected, but then made some adjustments. And I thought that our offensive linemen did a good job. Kyle did a great job on one of those plays, knowing where that running lane was going to be and cutting back to it. And, of course, things that, we tell the kids as we're making adjustments as the game goes on. And I thought our kids did a really nice job offensively making those adjustments. So really good job.
How fun has it been to coach this group of seniors coming in and playing, a lot of them playing for 3 and 4 years?
Oh, well, it's been a heck of a lot of fun. Like I said, a lot of them have started for 3 and 4 years. And one of them mentioned the other day when said, if we would have won that game against Wamego, if anybody remembers that, in that year we went 2 for 2 and whatever, and we almost had that good Wamego team beat. He said, we'd have been in the playoffs every year we were in high school.
Yeah.
But no, they're a really unique group of young men too. They're really, really fun. And sometimes the challenge with them is making sure that they're dialed in and as focused as we'd like them to be. And sometimes, us old grumpy old coaches don't realize that they really are, and they're having so much fun. So, no, they've been a wonderful group to coach, and really fun to work with. And it's hopefully we can give them several more games to play.
Well, we hope that, too, along the way. But tonight the Vikings looked like the offensive line knew what their assignments were. They were pushing that line of scrimmage down the field, and they were certainly dominating that first half of play.
Yeah, we really did. We had a little trouble getting a couple guys blocked. We got that figured out. And then really in the second half, that first drive, we were getting everybody blocked that we needed to be blocked every single play. In the first half, we weren't on everybody, but in the second half, we were on everybody. I mean, we couldn't have blocked it better, I don't think.
And our hats off to Kyle Anderson, back-to-back seasons with over 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's a special talent. He's one of those seniors, too. He's been a wonderful young man to work with and to coach. He's physically tough. He's mentally tough. He's coachable. And if anybody knows him, he's a really likable kid. And he's really great. One thing I will tell you about these seniors, they're a really physical bunch of kids. And they have been they treat their teammates well. There's been some times at practice where they could have, really, really blasted some of these young kids, and they didn't do it. And it doesn't stop them from doing it in the game. And so, they treat their teammates well, but they also play hard enough against them to make them better too. So
I heard there's a little bit of a jokester out there in Riley Odell, because Coach Lambert was confessing at practice the other day he was getting on somebody a little bit hard about this or about that, and all of a sudden Riley Odell comes over and says, "Why do you have those shorts on, Coach?"
Yeah. That's Riley.
Any truth to Riley being a little bit of a jokester like that?
Yeah, well, we don't know if he's being serious or not. That might have been a serious question. That might have been what was on his mind at the time.
But these guys are just doing a great job. Now you got to focus on Clay Center. We assume that they're going to take care of Rock Creek tonight. We don't know the score of that game yet, but chances are we're going to go up there to Clay Center. They're going to be a little bitter from the close loss that they suffered here last year. They're probably going to be looking forward to this game.
Oh, yeah, we're going to the Devil's Den. That's where we're headed, and our players know it. Our players know, and we've already talked as a staff, that's going to be on their mind. We should have beat them last year. Really they didn't beat us, and, right. They've got a lot of bulletin board material to feed their players, and rightly so. I would be doing the same thing if I was their coaches, and I've seen them on film, and their quarterback is a very good runner, and I'm not real excited about how well we defended the quarterback as a runner tonight. Mm-hmm. And so we are going to have to shore up that part of our defense for sure, and but they're a much better team than the last three teams that we've played, from seeing that on film. And they do some really nice things offensively and defensively. And, it's going to be a real good challenge. We haven't been in a dogfight for a while, and we need to get ourselves refocused and get ready to go and really, get after it again. And that's exciting for me as a coach. Because I'm sure our players will step up and say, all right, guys, now we start, and we got to start really, really battling and expecting it to be, the tight ball games and ones where, the team that plays the hardest and makes the least mistakes wins the game. Yep. So that's what we're expecting from here on out.
Well, congratulations on a great victory tonight, and we'll see you next week in Clay Center.
Okay, thank you very much.
James Henderson of the Viking coaching staff, and the Vikings started off tonight, and I won't recap the entire amount of scoring, but we scored on the first drive, culminated in a Court Elliott touchdown run of just 1 yard. Then the Vikings scored 3 times in that third quarter. A 12-yard Kyle Anderson run, the point after by Lambert was good. An 8-yard Brett Heitschmidt quarterback keeper. The point after by Anderson was good. And then that 65-yard scamper by Anderson, the 2-point pass failed. And it was 30-0 at halftime. Then Kyle Anderson added a 10-yard run in the third quarter. And then Chapman added a touchdown pass from Jackson to Harvey. Their point after kick failed. It was 37-6. And then the Vikings scored on a Kyle Anderson 11-yard run. The point after kick by Odell was no good. And then with just, I forgot to write the time down again, about a minute left to go, a minute and a half left to go, Chapman added a 24-yard pass on fourth down from Jackson to Colston. And the point after two-point conversion failed, and the final score ended up being 43-12. And have you got some stats first or scores first?
I'll do some stats first. That touchdown was at 1:09, Don, if you want to jot that down in your notes as well. 1:09 left in the game. Stats for Chapman tonight. They do finish the night with 210 yards of total offense on 55 total plays. They had 90 yards through the air. Isaac Jackson, of course, their quarterback, he was 8 for 14 for those 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brandon Colston, of course, the major receiver there, he had 5 receptions for 39 yards, 1 of the touchdowns. Eric Lemon, 1 grab for 38 yards. That was the tipped ball that we talked about in the fourth quarter that led to that last touchdown. Dalton Harvey caught 1 for 7, and that was one of the touchdowns as well. And Malik Watkins, 1 catch for 6 yards. On the ground, they had 41 attempts for 120 yards. That comes up to 2.9 yards per carry. Isaac Jackson, their quarterback, was their leading rusher tonight. He had 14 attempts, 78 yards. Dalton Harvey, their very rugged fullback, had 15 carries for 51 yards. Blake Vircher, he had 2 carries for 6 yards. Malik Watkins, 6 for 3. And Eric Lemon, 3 carries, -1. Then Brandon Colston on the punt, 1 for -17. Chapman finishes 5 for 15 on their third down conversion attempts, 1 for 4 on fourth down conversions attempts. They did end up with 13 total first downs on the night. Punted the ball 3 times only in the first half for an average of 33.3 yards, and one of those because they got the great roll with the wind there as well before Tim Lambert falls on the ball in the second quarter, I believe. They did have 8 penalties for 77 yards as well. The Vikings, meanwhile, run 3 less plays than Chapman tonight, but were very effective in the plays they did have the ball. 52 total plays, 402 yards of total offense for an average of 7.7 yards per play. That started with 41 yards passing by Brett Heitschmidt on 2 of 4. He did have the 1 interception, as we pointed out, his first interception on the season. Receiving-wise for him, and by the way, all of that in the first half. Receiving-wise, Zion Thomas 2 grabs for 41 yards, and that was all. So rushing was, again, the way to go tonight for Smoky Valley. 361 yards on the ground on 48 attempts, 7.5 yards per attempt. And that, of course, led tonight by Kyle Anderson, who ends up with an even 200 tonight on 19 carries, 10.5 yards per carry, and he also finished with 4 touchdowns as well. Riley Odell next on the list, 7 carries for 49 yards. Court Elliott, 6 for 40. Brett Heitschmidt, 6 for 33. He also had one of the touchdowns, as well as Court Elliott. Tim Lambert, 7 for 32. Raleigh Wilson, 2 for 7. Trey Kennedy, 1 for 0 yards, and that was one of the last carries of the game here. The Vikings did not punt tonight. We did attempt 2 extra points. One of those was good from Riley Odell. The other one just short. No punt returns. We didn't put anybody back to return punts tonight, so we didn't have to worry about that. The Vikings did end the night with 23 total first downs, 4 for 7 on our third down conversions, and 3 for 3 on our fourth down conversions. We also had 4 penalties for 40 yards. We also had 1 fumble, that Court Elliott fumble that we lost late in the game. Tackling tonight for Smoky Valley, just to get some more names in the mix. We had Ethan Wampler leading the way with 8. Riley Odell, 6.5. Carson Winholtz, 6.5. Kyle Anderson, 4.5. Conrad Peterson, Tim Lambert, both 3.5. Court Elliott with 3. Blake Hebel, Jacob Adams, both with 2.5. Brady Weber and Carson Holdren with 2 each. Zach Abel, Lane Schrog, Kai Shugren, Zion Thomas, Raleigh Wilson, Josh DeAndrea, and Andrew Peters all got in on a tackle as well. We are now ready for our Salina Ortho Player of the Game. Salina Ortho, of course, is a proud sponsor of the Player of the Game each and every week. It's tough not to vote for Kyle Anderson, is it not?
Just a dominating performance again. Goes over 1,000 yards for the second year in a row. 19 carries, 200 yards. Yeah, Kyle Anderson is certainly my choice for the Salina Ortho Player of the Game. Salina Ortho is a proud sponsor of the Player of the Game, and Kyle, well deserving of that effort. But, every one of those guys would give away any individual award to keep on going. And like Coach Henderson said, they're looking forward to the Clay Center game next week.
And a true credit again. I know Coach Lambert talked about it in his pregame show, just what a great job Coach Elliott is doing with that line, and what a great job that line is doing. And it's all the way across the board. It's everybody up there, including those tight ends that come in on the plays there as well when we're running in the wishbone. But not only that, our defensive line and what it's doing up front as well, really minding our gaps, doing what we need to do, and just doing a fantastic job. So it's so difficult. There's individual awards. There's, of course, people that do a great job there, but it's all built up by all the other things that happen. And I know Kyle would be the first to say that as well. But another dominating performance tonight by the Vikings. Really the fifth week in a row, we've really dominated the team we've played. And so Coach mentioned next week it's going to be a difficult stretch having to go on the road to Clay Center. They're going to be hungry after last year's game and that close game that we ended up winning. So it's definitely going to be one of those entertaining atmospheres next week.
Oh, yeah, no question about that. Trying to get some scores here for you. We got some scores. Salina Central ends up winning over South by the score of, it pops up here once again, 38-14. Hayes 36-0 over Abilene. Again, final Marysville 77, Minneapolis 12. We've got some more to add to that as well.
Yeah, got Kingman official final 10-6 over Hugoton, Halstead 36-6 over Trinity, Wichita West 16-0 over East. Chaparral comes back to beat Garden Plain 18-14. And then a sprinkling of scores. Sterling up 20-0 on Haven was the last we saw. TMP up 46-0 on Russell in the fourth. Nickerson all over Collegiate 41-14.
Wow.
That was in the fourth quarter last we saw. Larned up 10-6 on Hoisington, and Pratt had taken the lead on Holcomb now 14-13. Ellsworth up 42-0 on Lions. And that game just went final as well. So a number of scores there. Also had a Bueller score, 41-6 on El Dorado. I hadn't heard a new one there yet.
McPherson 47-0 over Wamego. I think they were thinking that might be a pretty close game, but McPherson really dominating the Red Raiders tonight. I think that game was in McPherson, so they're taking care of business. And that with that score of Nickerson that far up on Collegiate, if we win our game next week, we would host Collegiate. And it had been a long time since we played Wichita Collegiate now after they got out of our league. So that would be a fun game to be a part of again, too. But tonight the Vikings take care of business. 43-12 is our final. Any final thoughts on the game tonight?
I was going to share, and hopefully we still have some listeners out there. One of the things we didn't get a chance to mention tonight, a new version of picking our new Mayfay candidates. Had to go through an application process and some criteria there involved. It's a little different, notifying the students a lot earlier than what we usually do. And tonight's two recipients of that award, King and Queen for Mayfay. King is Carter Couchman, and Queen is Kate Everett. So it's nice to see those two. We were going to mention that earlier and kind of got wrapped up in the game. So again, Carter Couchman, Kate Everett, congratulations to both of those. But what another great night of Smoky Valley football. I mean, just another dominant night. It just feels like another day at the office.
Yeah.
Ever since that Larned game, and when I think we learned a lot about ourselves and some of our weaknesses, you and I talked about that as we left, thinking, hopefully we found some things that maybe might help us down the road. I think our adjustments in every game have been fantastic. And, of course, you've seen that in the results as well. But we just continue to come out here, go to work, do our job, do our roles, and continue to find a positive outcome. And what a great thing for young people to learn is how to do those types of things and how to compete at this level. And it's so great to see our guys doing such a fantastic job. And true hats off to all of our members of the coaching staff as well.
And hats off to our seniors as we said goodbye to our last home game in the regular season. We hopefully will win next week and have another home game the following week here, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. And we got to wish best of luck to our volleyball team competing in volleyball regionals tomorrow morning or afternoon, whenever that game is. And then to the cross-country runners up at Rolling Acres, they don't kick off. They start off. A gun goes off, and they start their they're running the girls, I believe, 10:30, and the guys like 11:10 or 11:15 or something like that. So best wishes to both of those teams. Boys were league champions a week ago, so they're looking to place and take several members, if not the whole team, to the state tournament the following week up at Wamego. So best of luck to them. And then finally, Bethany College kicks off tomorrow morning. They've moved their game time up because of the weather coming in to 11 o'clock kickoff for Bethany at Southwestern tomorrow morning at 11 right here on 95.5. So that'll wrap it up tonight. Thanks to Jared back at the station. Thanks to Doug, to Jason, Doug's brother, also helping with stats here tonight. This is Don Binkson wishing everybody a very pleasant good night. We'll talk to you next week from Clay Center. Take care, everyone. Good night.
The proceeding was a Rockingham Media sports presentation. Please visit our Sportscaster Club sponsors